Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we start off with introductions? Because who doesn't love a good introduction?
Me.
Your internet connection.
Right.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show where we discuss tips, tricks and tools to help all Guardians succeed and enjoy playing more. What makes us different? Well, we're not streamers or YouTubers, we just have a passion for Destiny and are dedicated to keeping Guardians informed and up to date with all the latest Destiny 2 news, information and opinions. We encourage your questions and feedback, and you can contact us either by email, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com, or on Twitter at 2titans_hunter. Now, on with the show.
Now recording. Hold on.
There's the robot. Welcome to International 2 Titans, 2 Hunters, and 1 Robot. Let's see how this goes horribly wrong.
I feel like I'm at a set of traffic lights. I'm just getting amber lights and green lights constantly on this voice connected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? I thought over the last couple of weeks we've really struggled for me to actually get on and stay constantly green with recording. So I thought, why not add another element of surprise and add an Australian to the mix to really stretch out that Craig bandwidth and the Discord so that I completely go robot. Respawn can't understand a word I'm saying, and that's it. The podcast goes down the tube.
Yeah.
We end on
You say down the tube, but I think that's exactly how it needs to be.
No. So joining me this week, the Titan whose reputation is never on the line, Parody, and by the Hunter who is rarely wrong. Just ask him, Respawn. Plus, we have a special guest. He's returning, the Hunter from the land that is only recognised by some, including Respawn, to not exist. Andeh13.
Howdy, I'm just a paid actor. You can send me the money in the mail or via Amazon.
No, we've told you you cannot solicit your jobs here. This is an unpaid free podcast.
You are getting paid at US pay rates, so it probably won't be worth your time or effort.
No, that's good for me.
In Canadian dollars, however.
Okay. Maybe not. Also, let me know if I'm accidentally breathing heavily in my mic so I can move it away.
No.
She said
because.
I think a lot of people might like that. They might think, "Oh, hang on a minute, they brought on some, husky male."
Welcome to Sexy Australian Time. We now have Houndish and Mylan Games with us.
No, you don't.
Unless you'd like to be somebody else, Andy. That's the only Australian streamer I can think of at the moment. So
I'll be whoever you want me to be.
Isn't Ascross Australian?
No.
I think you're thinking Canadian.
Yeah,
it's the same. It is the same. If it's not American, it's Australian.
Yeah.
So has everybody had a little chance to look at the notes this week?
I've only just printed it off, so I'm going to skim through it now.
I love your commitment to this. You've printed it off. The rest of us, we fumble through on reading on screens. You've printed it off. You are our replacement. You are so.
He's just going to fumble through reading it on paper. Then.
But he's killing trees for the sake of our show. No,
that's all right.
Is he, or are we contributing more to the carbon footprint?
My country's killing trees by itself by burning them. I'm just doing it by printing. So at least no houses have gone down by me printing. Actually, you know what? The more pages I print, the better off we are because less fires. We've got too many trees.
Checks out.
Yeah. Too many bushfires, so I'm going to print off all the papers.
Don't look for logic. Just go with it. Just accept it.
No. We got.
Accept
Are you not aware that it is bushfire season in Australia?
Yeah, no, I get that, but
how are you not on top of bushfire season in Australia? There,
I know about bushfire season.
Is that on your calendar right next to Boxing Day? And
yeah,
actually, I have Boxing Day on my calendar.
You should have Australian bushfire season or bushfire season.
So we get the American and the Canadian holidays.
Oh wait, so you guys don't get Boxing Day in the US, or is it just Black Friday? Is that what you call it? With your sales?
I don't think Black Friday. No, because Boxing Day is around Christmas. Black Friday is next week.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
We just call it "You haven't bought enough things yet" day.
Yeah.
We'll see. Boxing Day is the day after Christmas, and that's the same as the Black Friday.
But Christmas is already passed.
It's shopping day. No, it's. Well,
You just said it's the day after Christmas.
I thought you were
literally
saying now.
just said it's the day after Christmas, and then you're
I
like, no.
thought you were literally saying
No.
Christmas has just passed. Like,
Yeah.
now.
Welcome
I'm
to
like,
International Holiday Talk with 2 Titans and 2 Hunters this week.
Yeah, 2 Titans, 2 Hunters, and 4 continents involved.
Oh yeah,
If this doesn't break the Discord, I don't know what will.
it's gonna break all of the discords, not just ours. Everybody who listens is gonna break too.
Yeah.
Completely unrelated, just broken.
Oh,
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So, do I get a theme song or what? Like just something Australian, like kangaroos jumping and didgeridoos or something. I can
If
grab
you
my
like.
didgeridoo if you want. And
Oh,
I can
go on.
play it
No,
if
go
you
on.
want.
Go on then. Yes.
no.
Yes.
I want to
yes.
know what a didgeridoo theme song sounds like. We need a backup, and
You're about to find out.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Give me a second. You're about to find out.
All right. Just wait. Give me a minute.
This is
How do I mute
already
myself to practice?
amazing.
No, you don't get to mute yourself to practice. That's
Yeah.
not how this works.
There is no practice. There is only live.
There is live and editing post cut, and editing post cut. You just have to pray that Demon is in a good mood.
Oh, yeah. I love the fact that he's probably unplugged his mic now.
You probably
okay.
did, yeah.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
I can
Just
hear
And
wait.
you heard him come
Just
back
wait.
on and goes, "Nyeh." He
Alright.
100%
Just-
unplugged it.
Just wait. Okay. Silence.
I kill you?
There we go.
Is
That's
he an F1 racer?
all.
I'm pretty sure you just murdered some sort of creature that was sneaking into your living room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to play, you know.
Wait, do you actually have an instrument right now?
I'm just trying to get the
They're
get the hang of it. Just wait.
they're required. I mean, you at birth. You're handed your didgeridoo and your boomerang, and taught how to kill at least 4 species of creature. That's how it's That's how Australia works.
Can confirm.
See,
How
Sorry, just
do you
gotta
spell didgeridoo?
lick my lips.
Diddgerdy.
DIDG I
I love the
DIDGERIDOO.
MOUSE.
Right? The in the middle was great. DID Q ampersand star.
Please, it doesn't have to
14.
spell it. That's not important.
I mean, I just wanted to know how it was spelled. I didn't say it was important. I was just curious.
I think at this point he just walked away and
Yeah, no, all good. I don't
You
actually own
insulted
a
my culture. How
didgeridoo.
dare you?
I actually don't own a didgeridoo. I
devastated.
I didn't want to say anything, but it sounded complete. If it was a didgeridoo.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't own one. If I did, it
So
would have
how are you
sounded
gonna
much
judge
better.
this man's didgeridoo? Are you like the didgeridoo expert? How are you gonna tell him it sounds?
Just tell
completely-
him. I say, didgeridoo, don't do that.
Yeah,
Ooh, you gonna let him talk to you like that, dude?
he did.
That's like a hate crime, isn't it? When you talk about other people's culture like that.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's not my culture. I was just born here. It's not my background. I can't claim that as my own.
So, should we start the show, guys? With this week at Bungie for November 14th, 2019. So, next week on the roadmap, we have the Vex Offensive Final Assault coming. Ikora has gone over the top and built a lovely Vex gate in the tower, as we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. So, there'll be
That's a
Vex
good
all flooded
idea.
around the tower. Yeah. It's not like something that's
Possibly
ever
go
gone
wrong.
wrong before. Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
We also have the third raid challenge that will be available for Garden of Salvation, and probably Fallout players will do another Blueberries guide for that, which we'll focus on or feature next week in our tips, tricks, and guides.
But really, you've missed the most important part of this entire thing.
I know. I've left that bit for you.
I'm so excited about the launch of Stadia. The fact that Google sent engineers to Bungie for 6 months to figure out how video games work. I'm just so fascinated by this whole thing.
They sent people to Google to see how video games work.
No.
Did you just say that, or did I
Yeah.
mishear you?
Yeah, no.
You misheard.
Google,
But it was the other way around.
Yeah, strike that, reverse it, to the other way around. Google sent engineers to Bungie figure out how to make Destiny work on the Stadia, like for 6 months. No, like I can't remember which. I don't remember if it was Paul Tassi or whoever wrote it this week. Yeah, no, that
IGN, I think, was saying it.
Was IGN? Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, no, Google sent engineers to Bungie to be like, yeah, we want your game to work on our Stadia thing. Help. I just I'm so intrigued by Stadia, but I also don't think Google can focus on anything long enough to make it successful.
I'm just concerned about the graphical quality of the
graphical
Stadia.
quality.
It's capped at 60 FPS.
That's still better than a lot of the things.
I mean, the graphical quality is interesting. They're pre-rendering, basically sort of like assuming what like their sub-millisecond response times. They're basically like going down the tree and saying, "Hey, this is probably what the player's going to do. Let's sort of make that guess for them and sort of almost preload that." It's really interesting in theory. I'm really curious to see if it actually pans out. I'm sure some of these streamers have to be getting some test units from Google just for the heck of it, saying, "Hey, let me throw down the $120 or whatever on the Founders Edition," and just seeing how this thing pans out. I'm really curious to see how this is going to work, especially in the world. And again, because cross play isn't the thing yet, it's not an issue from that end. But I'm fascinated by it. But again, I don't think Google can keep track of it for more than like a video game console is a long process. It's an investment. You can't be like, "Hey, we're making this thing that's online. We're gonna dump it in a year because we forgot all about it." I just don't know if they can focus long enough on it.
If they do it like the mobile phones, Google Stadia 2 will be out next year, and then 3 the following year, and then 4.
Precisely. And then they're going to have the Stadia 3A, which is going to be a slightly cheaper one. It'll have a headphone jack though, so we're good.
And a camera.
Did I mishear it? At some point, Google Stadia will be Google Stadia will be free at some point.
I
think you had to have misheard that.
Probably haven't. I haven't paid that much attention, but
all I know is that they've got two.
They may bundle it with the phones at this point.
They've got 2 subscription levels. The top one is 4K, 60 FPS. The bottom one's 1080, 60 FPS. So that there's those two. So you're either paying.
Yeah. I was looking at the amount of stuff that isn't actually ready yet for the Stadia. It's like it's launching without this and this and this and this other thing and this other thing we're gonna have. But we're gonna have a sooner or later in 2020. It'll be good. I mean, again, it's a product that you want to wait a year to see if it actually goes anywhere, but also it may not have gone anywhere in the year. It may be discontinued by next Christmas. So again, just fascinated to see where this thing goes.
I'd also like to see like other games be launched on this platform, but whatever.
Well,
so here
there's Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I mean there are a couple of high-profile titles.
You've got Borderlands 3. You've got Cyberpunk 2077. You've got Destiny 2, Destroy All Humans. You've got Doom Eternal, Dragon Ball 2, Xenoverse, Farming Simulator. That's a good one for you, Pony.
Dragon Ball Z,
Final Fantasy.
Pony is not here.
Fantasy 15. I know Pony's not here, but if he ever listens.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint. They've got Just Dance 2020. They've got the new Marvel Avengers game.
Wait. How do you play Just Dance on a remote?
Look,
how do you not?
You grab your phone and you dance with it. That's what you have to do.
It's got a camera, right?
Yeah, Andy, Google is already watching you. They know when you're dancing.
That's true.
Mortal Kombat 11. You've got Red Dead Redemption 2, Rage 2, Tomb Raider Rise of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Crew 2, Elder Scrolls, loads more Tomb Raiders, Division 2, Trials Rising, Watch Dogs Legion. Yeah. There's loads of stuff.
They are some good titles for a long, for a new. Yeah, that's.
But you don't need these games on another console, right? It's not like a streaming service. You're gonna buy this just like you buy a PlayStation 3. It's just that you'll be able to play it like on the road and whatnot, right? That's how this is supposed to work.
But the good thing about it is
you buy a Chromecast
being cross save. You can literally take that anywhere. Which is great. Yeah, it mainly benefits Destiny more than the others.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they put a ton of Destiny press behind it, so I'm really curious to see specifically how that plays out. But but all this other stuff. Yeah, the achievement system, the ability to play on existing Chromecast Ultras isn't there on launch. The family sharing, so you have to buy individual things for all of your children. Look at Unite Demon. All these little things that just are not launching with the Stadia. But again, I'm super curious to have a gaming console that you can use through a Chromecast. or a Pixel phone.
Yeah.
And that's all you really need for it. And obviously a good internet connection, and then, grab that and a controller. Again, I don't think you're gonna be playing your competitive PvP, or maybe you are because nobody else will be there. And then you can go get your Not Forgotten, bring it to their other console through cross save because you're gonna make your Stadia
in the lobby.
yeah, exactly. Because you're gonna 1v1 everybody. It's gonna be amazing.
Right.
If I could justify
I'm
spending
so intrigued by this
money on this Google Stadia, I think it'd be great because I could play Destiny with you guys in between bus trips.
I thought you were going to say that. Yeah,
There you go.
while you're at work,
Yeah.
sitting at the bus
You know
stop.
what?
Yeah, hang on a minute, I'll have a quick match.
You know what? I'll even hand over the controller to a passenger that I know is going to stay for most of the trip, and they can play with you guys.
All right, I'm going to need to know who is taking the long trip. Okay, who is getting off the last stop? All right, I'm going to need you to go into this PvP match for me.
Have you got one of those buses that's got Wi-Fi on it then?
Yeah,
No, I don't. That'd be good.
Door in the back of the bus.
Well, that's it seems like that's what you're going to need there, buddy.
They can't zip off with your phone.
Yeah,
Who had my phone? What? Nobody. Hold on.
That's what Find My Phone is for. Find my phone because the bus passenger I gave it to has run off with it.
If my music stops playing on my Bluetooth speaker, I'll know my phone is gone. But it'll be too late because I'll be at the next stop.
Dude said, I don't know, my phone is gone.
So a couple more things. Bungie have gone on about the global community. So to ensure every Guardian feels at home, they've been putting more focus on the Destiny global community. So no matter your location, your voice is important to us. What began as region-specific Twitter accounts has evolved into a new community initiative. And this week, they'd like to take the opportunity to introduce the first two international members on the community team. And that's Locke, I'm guessing it's Locke from France, and Maurice from Germany. And there's a couple of little bit of blog posts from those in the This Week at Bungie, which we will link in the show notes.
Yeah, I did notice that they did post some, I think, of the French screenshots because they had the fashion show, and I think that they posted some French fashion show screenshots in the This Week at Bungie. I'm pretty sure, which was cool. Yeah, that was good to include the other communities. Very nice of them to eventually include them.
You just say French fashion show, and considering about all the top designers that come from France or go to France because of the designs, can you imagine like all the flair that those Guardians had? You got a Guardian wearing a freaking garbage bag and a tunic, and it's like the newest thing,
Just a big steak.
Yeah. Oh man, now I gotta go look at that.
Andy, would you like to do the next point?
In regards to seeking balance, or
your story? Oh, now I've gone down to red. Now look what he's done. Add another person.
It's a
another
freaking
American
party.
I'd like to point out our Australian connection, magnificent. Our British connection,
hang on, he's got to find his headphones.
I feel a Brexit joke in there somewhere.
He's got to find his headset. You can't join the podcast without talking.
You're about to lose your status as
reveal yourself.
You're a first world nation there, buddy, without a good internet connection.
Ooh, whoa, let's not say things like that. Come on now. We're all friends. I told you,
I'm safe. I'm recording locally this week.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
Right?
Is Night Demon ever safe?
No, he's really not. Also, you sound a little no. You sound a little. Damn it!
What are you?
I just had a stroke.
Stop.
Okay.
You
sound a little low, no less. Oh my God! Why was that so hard to say?
I don't know, but I'm doing great. So far, we've had to reboot Night Demon. Respawn can no longer speak. Andy and I, we got this. We're doing great.
Yeah, no, you guys are awesome. I'm the one having a freaking train of strokes over here.
Too many Wollybops.
Right? We're going to get another tweet about that. I already sent you the medical advice about that. Like, look, I know. All right. She's that she, cuts me now. So thank you for that. Moving on. No blood.
Okay, so let's move back on with the podcast.
Yep. Okay.
Stop being derailed. Andy, take us away with your story.
Look, the derailing would have only happened for like 5 seconds if freaking Parody would have just shut the hell up. No, gotta make things difficult for me. Gotta talk over me. Gotta try to make life bad for the respawn. I see how it is.
Please stop talking. I'm going to cut it all out. You're just prolonging the agony of the whole podcast.
I know. Well, you don't think I know this? This is all by design, dude. All by design.
Okay. As mentioned above, Destiny's community is large and varied. Everyone is a little different in terms of how they.
Did he just start reading the show notes? Well done.
We've heard a lot of stories over the what?
Just don't let him.
You're doing the thing you should be doing.
I was complimenting.
Carry
you.
on.
Okay. We've heard a lot of stories over the years about conquering challenges, meeting new friends, and the various ways that Destiny has touched your life. We'd like to hear more. We've opened up avenues to share your favorite Destiny experiences with us, both on Bungie.net and Reddit. This isn't a contest. It's a way for us to get to know you better and to hear about the kinds of in-game moments that have made the largest impact on you. So if you're up to it, share your most memorable moments of Destiny. Anything that made you feel a sense of tremendous achievement, a sense of belonging, devastated or heartbroken, utter domination.
Every moment, respawn.
Yep. A human connection. That's not respawn. Like laughing until you cried. The moment you knew you loved this game. Thank you for being such an amazing community. We look forward to hearing more of your story.
That's cool, because I've seen a bunch of people putting things into Reddit having amazing experiences that didn't involve respawn. So,
well, see, I've got an experience that I wish I posted on Reddit a while ago. See, in Destiny 1, I met two players. I know them as Bruce and Kayla. Their gamer tags have changed a couple times since, but basically we joined up, played together. I think back then we wanted to get the Thorn, and we weren't great at Crucible, so we decided to cheese it by going into Rumble and killing each other, but in a nice way. But so that moment brought us together, and we started to play a lot since. And then I brought my mate James, who's his name's Diggs13. I think he plays on PC now. But we used to all play together, and we played for a year or two. And then Kayla and Bruce decided that they wanted to get married, and they're also from Australia, but from a bit far away. They decided to invite Diggs and I to their wedding. Not only that, we're actually their groomsmen.
Oh,
so that was a great experience. So we went over there, and we experienced their wedding with them, which was great. It was good. The Destiny brought us together, which was it's a great game. Like I've been part of this clan since Destiny 1, and I think I've only continued playing this game because of you guys. I've got, it's like my online family kind of thing. So I enjoy my time with you guys, and I probably would be playing PC by now because PC is amazing, but I'm staying on Xbox just so I can have a chance to play with you guys occasionally whenever our time zones meet up.
Yeah.
Those rare occurrences that I get online and I'm like, hey, there's it now, bye. That's the problem. That's the problem of a 14-hour time difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
Respawn, do you want to share a lovely, heartwarming story?
I don't really have a heartwarming story, per se.
Shocking.
That's surprising.
What I can say though.
Tell the people about the lovely story about how the Frozen Clan have taken you in, mollycoddled you, looked after you, and embraced your inner demon.
So you want me to lie to people?
Fair enough. Go on, then.
Okay. No. The one thing I do like about the Frozen Clan, because I was never really in a clan in Destiny, not even through Destiny 1. I was never really in a group. I had friends, but that was it. Well, with the Frozen Clan, I first linked up with you guys in a raid. Actually, now that I think about it, I think we were playing the machine raid with oh god, I can't remember what it's called now.
Wrath of the Machine.
Yeah, the Wrath of the Machine. I think that's the first time I ever met anybody in the clan, and it was Frosty, and freaking Jetrick of all people.
You know what? I think that's how I met the clan, was through Frosty and Detrick in
I don't doubt
one
it.
with the War Priest.
Yeah. And
maybe even prior to that.
But we did crap in that raid, right? We were so bad. We spent so much time
Welcome to
doing
Frozen.
something. Yeah, right. But like, whenever I get into a raid, I want to get it done. I want to get it over with, and I want to go do stuff, right? But hanging out with these just degenerates and just failing the same part over and over again, we were just laughing and joking and having a good time. And I was like, wow, this is a good crew. And then I think I friended some of them. And eventually, I had a clan invite. It definitely was not then. I can tell you that. it was not
Who
after
sent
that
you the
raid.
invite? And we will chase them down. And yes,
I don't know.
Nollis, have you got a lovely heartwarming story that you'd like to share?
Sure. I mean, Destiny 2 is what keeps two guys, Queen Anne's and Brizzle and I, every Monday night. We play Destiny 2 together, keep in touch. We live in the same state, but 4 hours apart. So, and then we joined you guys because of the podcast. Found out about the Frozen Clan and decided to join the chaos.
And I bet you haven't looked
And
back.
How did
Well,
you
you
hear
probably
about
have
it?
many times, but you
actually,
can't escape.
Weren't
now.
you guys one of the first people that we got to come hang out with us because of the podcast? It was
I don't know.
Queen Anne, Brizzle, you.
I think so. It was like,
Yeah, they were like
'cause-
one of the first, if not the first ones that came from the podcast, I think. Or
Yeah,
because
we
of the
actually made
podcast.
Pan work.
Yeah.
Because I messaged Pan and said, hey, we want to be in the clan.
and he's like, what do I look like? Some sort of founder, some sort of admin? What do you
What do you want
That's
from
why
me?
he's hired us.
Do you need a
He's hired us
manager?
for
And
that.
then we had our first clan experience doing the Last Wish raid. Was the Last Wish raid? Which was the one where we failed like 47 times on the...
That can
No.
be any raid. You're not really helping
Yeah.
here.
Scourge of the past.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
sun was
Yeah,
chasing
Yeah,
us.
it was definitely a Scourge with the motivated sparrow race.
Yes. I think it was like 47 times before we actually made it.
Accurate.
Listen,
Yep.
we
Mhm.
don't count, right? Counting is what screws everything up. You never count the failures. You just count the successes. And luckily, I've got the one hand to do that with. But no, it's just, I think we're just a bunch of goofballs, you know, and that's what really.
That's true.
It's funny, but prior to joining this clan, I was in my own clan, which I created myself, and it just had me and 3 other people. And I just created it just so I could have, you know, with the clans, how you've got the 4 letters.
Yeah.
I wanted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I called the clan Teenage Mutant Ninja Casuals. And I think that clan's still out there somewhere, but I didn't bring it over to Destiny 2. But I think I prefer Frozen. That clan was a bit lonely. And I think we all I think 4 of us actually dressed our guardians up like the turtles as well.
Jeez.
Yes.
That's actually kind of
Love it.
funny. That's
That's
awesome.
phenomenal and amazing, and I love it. Well, then, what was the clan that you all were in, Nollis? That had a
It was
phenomenal
just
name?
Queen Anne's and I. It was Queen Anne's and I, and it was just the D2 of us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh goodness. So right now, somebody is reaching out to me on
No, they
on
aren't.
Steam.
No.
Somebody named Dragon Sin M7. He never mind. What he just said is on Twitter. Disregard. Go look at Twitter.
All right, go on to Twitter.
Just anywhere on Twitter. We've got to just go and search something on Twitter.
Yes. Oh, he loves Respawn ranting. Well, he is in luck. He is
Yes,
in luck
you-
this week.
We have a respawn rant that I
That's-
believe it is our longest. It's going to be our longest rant.
After this, during this,
So,
Because of
Parody,
this.
would you take us through seeking balance?
Oh,
we really do need to seek some balance.
That's my
yeah.
pathetic
So-
attempt to do like a yoga hum while he's saying
Mhm.
balance.
Yeah. So grab your finding balance emote out, obtain the proper pose. Because over the last year we made some changes to the sandbox of Destiny 2. Some weapons have been brought down, some armor has been brought up, and the meta has shifted from class to class. No, it hasn't. It's the one-eyed mask and hunters. That's it. Sorry, warlocks. You don't exist anymore. Coming up next season, we're going to evolve the sandbox again. So we're going to talk about this new topic called the Recluse. They're going to make some changes to the Master of Arms effects, which I think this horse has actually gone to the glue factory, come back, and has been made into lots of paste for the children now. So we're not going to beat this dead horse anymore. They're changing the Recluse. It's happening in the beginning of next season. Just to recap, we're removing the precision damage modifier, and it will continue to receive bonus damage from the Master of Arms perk, but it will not default to the precision values. So body shots are not body shots, they're not all headshots. One-Eyed Mask is getting a change, which they're changing the effects of Vengeance. So basically, they're removing the overshield granted from defeating an opponent that inflicted damage on you. So everything else stays. They're just taking the overshield off, which of all the changes, of all the simple things they could have removed, I think we may have even talked about last week or one of the couple weeks. That would be a good one to remove. Just take the overshield away.
Yeah.
It brings it down to earth a little bit more.
Well, I mean,
because then the tracking now is every class has a helmet that tracks, or an item that tracks. At least that brings it to the level.
What Warlock has tracking?
We went over this chest piece. Remember, you were really amazed last time.
Yeah. I'm amazed this time too.
Yeah, so so next season the perk will continue to provide health regen when defeating an opponent, but you will not get the overshield. So that's all. Still get your health regen, but not your overshield. So you get your health back, but you're not then a mega tank. You're just a small tank.
Okay.
And again, they're also going to make some changes to the Xenophage. We're increasing the PvE damage by 50%, and the ammo pulled from the PvP crates has been increased from 4 to 6 and 3 to 4 from shared and solo heavy ammo. They're giving you more heavy ammo. It shipped a little weak, so they're so it's getting a bump in the raw damage, which is a 50% bump. Seems pretty decent. I still don't have mine nor have started the quest for it, so can't tell you anything about it.
Same. I feel like
I haven't either.
And again, they say machine guns have a higher ammo capacity than other heavy weapons, trading raw DPS for ease of use. The Xenophage slides a little further towards other heavy weapons, such as grenade launchers in that aspect, but it didn't get enough power back, so they're going to fix that so it actually feels powerful and not like a, machine gun with no ammo in it, which is why even bother? And again, in the next few weeks, they'll tell us more about the changes coming next season, what they're going to nerf, what they're going to boost, and how they're going to make Respawn even angrier.
Whoa. You don't need to...
It says right there. Bungie's it's Bungie's words, not mine. They are looking at some quality of life changes for things like escalation protocol armor, bug fixes, and more.
I need to address something that you said. You said it's just hunters and titans. I have to disagree. Only because Middle Tree
there are no
Void Warlock.
No.
Dude, you get a super every 15 seconds?
The handheld Supernova is going to be the next thing that everyone's going to complain about. Once when I gets a nerf.
No, forget the handheld Supernova. No, because that Middle Tree class, when you do void damage,
I would like to, but I can't because I've been hit by a handheld Supernova.
Netherrack Sin, you get your super back so fast, man. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Respawn, did you know that you can send out your Supernova while in your super?
Yes.
Now that is messed up.
Agreed.
I did not know that because again, I don't see many warlocks these days, but that's filthy. That's real filthy.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. So and I think you could even do it while you're holding the trigger down to charge up your big kind of Nova Blast.
Yeah,
I think you could even do it while you're charging that up. Not 100% sure, but I think you can.
Pretty messy, but they deserve something.
So now that we're changing we're going to nerf our Titan mask, then we're going to go back to nerfing our Warlocks later on once that becomes the thing everyone complains about.
By the time Destiny 2 ends, everything's going to be nerfed. Hunters are not going to be able to jump. Warlocks won't be able to melee.
Titans can't punch. Anyway. Titans are going to be the only class that can punch.
No, Titans will be able to we'll just have to walk. There will be no running. We can only walk places.
No more.
We can still punch you, but we're going to have to walk up to you very slowly, possibly with a cane like a pimp. Hard to say. And then they're going to nerf that. They'll give all the Titans. So we have to get our two. We have to pay to unlock our 2 golf ball or our 2 tennis balls to put on the end of them. We have to slowly walk our way up to you, and then try to reach you. And then we fall over. It's gonna be bad times. Or just bring back the T-Rex arms. That would solve your Titan problem.
And speaking of making me spawn angry,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of what's happening.
Yeah, that whole recluse thing, that's rough. Like,
Yeah.
we've gone out and earned that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll try not to swear.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, otherwise you're gonna be the
You've
one with
just
all
been
the dolphins
dolphined.
and kittens.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
No,
so-
I shouldn't be dolphin. I should be didgeridoo.
Yes.
Didgeridoo, yes. That's the thing.
I've now got to go and find a didgeridoo.
To
That
the sound
soundboard
library.
collection just keeps on growing. Oh yeah. So here's the thing, right? After I saw the nerfs coming out for the recluse, so a few rants ago, right? I was talking about how even though I didn't have any of the Crucible Pinnacle weapons, I mean any, not one, and they were talking about nerfing, what was it, Luna's Howl at the time, I believe is what set me off the first time. And I was like, don't touch it. It's a pinnacle weapon. They had to earn it, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now I've got all but one of these Crucible Pinnacle weapons. I've got everything except the Not Forgotten, and I'm well on my way to earning that, right? So now that I've had my hands on these pinnacle weapons and I've had to go through the grind of getting a lot of these weapons. And yes, I know before you mentioned it, Crucible's a lot easier now. Yes, I get that, but it's still a grind for getting kills and things like that. So, despite the fact that Crucible is easier, it is still, in my opinion, one hell of a grind. And as someone that's got most of these pinnacle weapons, I'm even more of an advocate of don't touch it. You know, leave it the hell alone. And Bungie's like, oh, well, we made it as a legendary that's too strong. Well, that's the whole idea. Otherwise, why would people chase it? You know? I mean, I got the Luna's Howl now. I use it now. I never used it pre-nerf, so I don't know how good it was then. And in my opinion, it's not bad now, but I didn't play with it before, right? So I don't know. But I have played with the Recluse extensively. I don't know how good that is. And you're going to sit there and you're going to take away the damage bonuses because what people are crying about it. When I was on the other side of this fence and I was getting killed by these weapons, I didn't cry about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, I'm saying pretty much any expletive you can imagine and then some that don't exist, right? But never once did I think it needs to be taken out of the game or it needs to be nerfed or it needs to be this or that or the other. No, it just encouraged me to get off my butt and earn these items for myself. That way I can compete with the rest of these guys that are just mopping the floor with me with the freaking Mountaintop or the Recluse or the Luna's Howl or fill in the freaking blank, right? Whatever you want to say. And that's how it should be, right? This is a game where you have a competitive edge or not based on how much time you invest in the game. And don't come at me with this whole, not everybody has the same amount of time. I get that. I totally get that, and I feel bad for those guys, but this is how the game is. This is just how it is. If you don't have enough time to play for a certain item or you don't have enough time to grind for the certain item, you don't get the item. That's just how it is. And when you go to play a game mode where that item exists and you're getting just completely wally-bopped by this thing left and right, and you can't do anything about it except complain, cry to whatever gods you believe in, well, this is your life. This is your life until you put in enough time to grind for the damn weapon. And here's Bungie saying, oh, we've had enough people complain about it. We're going to change it. Why? Why change the pinnacle weapons? You still haven't changed the fact that you have to add freaking enhancement cores to enhance, I don't know, everything, right? We've been complaining about that since the onset, and you haven't touched that, but yet you're going to touch the pinnacle weapons that people had to work for and earn? What sense does that make? Why pick on the things that people worked for? I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think Bungie's making a very stupid decision. And there are some people out there. I forgot the YouTuber's name, so I'm not going to try to venture a guess. But one of the YouTubers was all like, well, you know, it's missed every nerf so far, even though they say they've nerfed it, and it's still just as good as it was before. Even if what he says is true, even if this quote-unquote nerf ends up not really affecting how good the weapon is, it still shouldn't be nerfed. You know, it's the principle of the thing. People went out there, they busted their asses to get this damn gun or whatever, and you should leave it the hell alone, man. If people have a complaint about it, if people don't like it, if people are getting killed by it, if people can't like Imtash says, the mountaintop recluse combo is just, it's scummy. Yeah, it's scummy because it works. And those people that are doing the scummy BS have earned the right to do that. They've went through the grinder. They've went through the crucible, both in Destiny and the feeling of the crucible, because crucible is like an actual word, not just a game type. Regardless, point is, people had to go through the ringer. They had to go through hell and back to get these weapons. And here Bungie is just nerfing them because some people have their feelings hurt by them. Well, if you have your feelings hurt by them, don't go into Crucible. Guess what? You won't get killed by it. I know it's a weird concept. Not a lot of people know it, but stay the hell out of the game type that has it if you don't want to be killed by it and you don't want to earn the damn thing. Enough said. Stop touching things that people like, Bungie, and start touching things that people don't like. And I know that came out wrong, and it's already too late. It's out there. I can't take it back now. So take that however you want. But just stop touching the stuff people have earned, right? It's not an exotic. It's not something that you can just get dropped. Exotics get nerfed. I get that, right? Some exotics are quote unquote too exotic. Some exotics are broken. Some exotics are the one-eyed mask. I totally get that. Some of them need to be nerfed because it gives one class or one subclass or one whatever way too much of an advantage over literally everything else.
Titan's the word you're looking for.
No, I wasn't looking for it. I left it out there in the void for a reason. No pun intended.
It will find you around the corner with a shoulder charge.
Not if I'm playing momentum control. Anyway.
But do you think the reason why that the recluse hasn't been touched as severely as it is, well, not, I wouldn't say severely, but it's being touched in a way that it's going to affect it a little bit more than what the previous ones were, is because now they've made it easier for people to get. So they've now got a bit more data on it. So there's a lot more people that have actually achieved it in Crucible to then take it back into Crucible and then use it. And people have been using it more effectively. I mean, I've been killed by it quite a lot in the last couple of Iron Banners that I've been playing in. And it's quite good to go up against somebody with a recluse because, you may have a different weapon or you may have another recluse. And I thought it was quite a good trade-off, fighting against it. I mean, I'm not the best skilled player. And, there are people out there that are far better using it than me. But I think that's probably the reason why they're touching it now, is because they've got a lot more data on it. Whereas before, it was that pinnacle weapon that was quite hard to obtain. Like Andy was saying before the show, you grind your ass off to get this item, and it took us a lot because we got it a couple of seasons back. So it took a lot of grinding to get, but when we got it, we've used it and we've appreciated it.
Yeah, and that's how it should be because you've earned it. There's a sense of pride and accomplishment in that weapon. I wasn't happy when they nerfed Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. I don't think they should nerf this because where are they going to stop, right? Now people are going to start complaining about the mountaintop. Then they're going to nerf the mountaintop. Then people are going to complain about Randy's throwing knife. Well, maybe not now, but if, Pulse Scout Rifles become the meta again, the hardcore meta, then yeah, people are going to start complaining about Randy's throwing knife. People are going to complain about whatever the meta is, be it legendary or exotic. Are you going to nerf literally everything until everything is just crap?
See, I feel like the fact that these weapons are now more achievable to get by everyone, that they shouldn't be nerfed, because if everyone's got them, it's more even playing field. So
yeah,
why nerf it now? They should have nerfed it prior to this, but now that everyone has it, no point. Everyone's got it. Everyone can use it effectively. But I've got another suggestion. If people don't want it to be nerfed, keep them as it is, but maybe try convert them to exotic so you can only have one of them on at a time.
I did think about that.
That'd be an interesting way.
Not sure if I would be happy with that either. Huh? I mean, let's be honest.
I think that's a good point, because when these weapons came out and they wanted to make people chase the weapons down and make them, really desirable, separate from exotics, I think you're right, Andy. They should have made them into exotics to start off with, because they were pinnacle weapons. They were like top of the meta, or top weapon strats you get because they had distinctive perks and things like that. So it would have been better to make them exotic. So it was rather a choice to use that exotic weapon. Whereas you
And
can
then
run
you
around with
wouldn't-
an exotic weapon and a really powerful
Yeah.
legendary
Yeah.
at the
And
moment.
you wouldn't
So,
get the recluse mountaintop combo because they'd be both exotic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think if they had to nerf something, I am taking this from another YouTuber. I'm not trying to claim this for my own, but if you had to nerf it, the thing they should have nerfed, just like he said, was the Master of Arms perk, meaning it should activate on itself, not another weapon. You know,
That's fair enough, I guess. That's like if you're using the recluse, like in Crucible, the recluse by itself without the perk isn't great. It goes well. It's not great, but yeah, that would be more. That'd be much better. Where at least if you get a kill with the recluse, you've earned that extra perk.
Yeah, because that's exactly what makes the recluse and mountaintop combo so bad. And yes, I'm going to pick on One-Eyed Mass Titans here because it was brought up and it's a good point. And I'm not hazing on them right now. Okay, this is just a valid point. If you have the mountaintop recluse with the One-Eyed Mask, right? The mountaintop kill procs recluse, and then recluse just goes to town, with the Master of Arms perk because it's a freight train at that point. And if the Titan's got One-Eyed Mask, he's the unstoppable force. What are you going to do? The answer is nothing. You can't do anything against that combo. So I get that, but that's an extreme case. For everybody else, they still use the mountaintop recluse combo because again, you get the kill with the mountaintop and the recluse comes out with its perk already procced and you kill one or two people before you get killed. It's still really good in that aspect as well. So if you really wanted to nerf it, I wouldn't nerf the critical damage that you get on proccing Master of Arms. I would just have done like he said and make it proc on itself and itself only. That would have been great. You'd still have the damage. It would still be a really top tier submachine gun from all the others. And people like me wouldn't be so upset about it. People that actually finally have it. And like he says, more people now have it than they did before, by a huge margin. And why wait till now after everybody's got it to nerf it? If it was going to be nerfed, like he said, it should have been done in the beginning when only a small percentage of people had it and they were just crapping on everybody else. It makes no sense to do it now.
Well, no, I think now where they've got the data to show, it was quite prevalent in the first couple of Iron Banners this season, wasn't it? Everybody was using the recluse to get those kills for the SMG kills
and the grenade launcher kills.
Exactly. You had people. I think those were designed to get people to use those items specifically so they could get a ton of data on it and then go, hang on a minute, this, we're seeing that there's critical hits and this is the amount of critical hits compared to like body hits and things like that. So I think they've done their research, but they've done it it's a kind of sneaky way of making the recluse more obtainable this season so that more people can get it, then putting bounties in Iron Banner so that people choose to use the recluse over other things to get their data. I think it's quite a smart way of doing it, to be honest.
I'm not arguing that point. I'm arguing the fact that they shouldn't be nerfing it. People have worked hard for that.
Yeah, this makes me feel like the whole Galahorn in Destiny 1 again, where in the beginning, a small amount of people were lucky to get it. It was getting used a lot. And then Bungie decided to give it to everyone and then nerf it straight after that. So people got to use it
literally
briefly. 7
days after they gave it to everybody, they nerfed it.
Yeah, so it feels like it's just a repeat of that almost.
And I'm not even gonna lie. When I heard about it, at first I was like, they're gonna nerf it, man, whatever. There's other submachine guns out there that I can use. And there's other machine guns out there I use right now anyway. But then I started thinking about it, and then the more I thought about it, the more I got about it, right? Because it's like, what if this was like the thing that you wanted to do? You grinded your ass off to get this weapon. This is like your bread and butter. This is the coolest thing ever, right? And then Bungie comes and they nerf it into oblivion. That right there makes me not want to play the game anymore. It's like, so basically, whenever I get something that I want, it gets nerfed. What's the point in playing this game if all the things I like are just gonna become crap?
But just to clarify before we go down the fact that you're saying that it's a really hard nerf. DMG and Cosmo on Twitter and a couple of the other things have gone on to say regarding the Master of Arms nerf clarification. When Master of Arms procs, there will be a damage buff to both precision and body damage, but it will no longer make every shot count as precision.
I know.
Because I believe Galad on Twitter was discussing it with DMG. He said that, I'm going to be real about this. Not exactly sure what the Recluse nerf means. Numbers or something specific would have been nice. So somebody else said, I don't understand what you're actually doing to it. Basically, it still gets a damage buff. It's a flat percent to the damage buff, to his knowledge. And once the change goes live, it'll be pretty easy for you to understand and see where it is and where it feels in the sandbox. So basically, it's just the precision part of the damage when the Master of Arms is procced. So you will still get a flat percent damage.
You're kind of right, but this is how I understood it. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, right? But this is how it was explained to me. No. And this is how it was explained to me. And this, to me, makes way more sense because of how it was explained, right? When Master of Arms is procced, your headshots and your body shots both counted as critical headshots, right? So it didn't matter if you were shooting him in the head or the body, you're getting the same damage numbers.
Yes.
Everything is a headshot. It's like the Recluse becomes a divinity at that moment, right? Everything's a crit. And what they're doing is they're giving you a damage buff, but taking away the crit. So overall, it's going to be doing less damage to the body. No matter how you look at it, it's going to be doing less damage to the body than what it was before. And
yes, but it's still going to be doing... No, but it's still going to be doing damage. But if you get headshots, it will still give you the critical damage shots. Although on an SMG, it's harder to do crit shots. But if you do hit headshots, you'll get the critical damage, and it will be very similar to how it is now. What they're saying is that if you aim for
they've taken the best part of this machine. That's what made the Recluse so good. That is why the Recluse is so good. It is an SMG. You don't have to freaking aim to get the critical damage.
So basically, if you're a PC player, you're sweet. If you're us, too bad.
But that is my entire complaint. Worlds. Yeah, that is my. I'm actually on PC right now while we're talking about it. But strictly console players, it is entirely screwing them, and even PC players, because yes, PC is easier to aim the Recluse, but you don't have to is the point, and the not having to is what makes the gun amazing. And it is my hard opinion, and you can't change my mind. It is my hard opinion that they are taking away the best part of Recluse. That is the best part. The fact that the extra damage can proc on a different weapon kill was just like a cherry on top. The bread and butter was the extra damage you got. That was the best thing about this gun. Body shot, still critical. Headshot, still critical. Any shot, still critical. Shooting the foot, it's critical. Who cares? You get a critical shot if Master of Arms is procced, not procced. And it is a hard nerf. It is a very, very hard nerf, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just feel sorry for G-Dad. He's been wanting me to get the Recluse for him for a bit now, and when I do finally get it for him, it will be nerfed. But you know what? If I don't tell him, if no one tells him, he won't notice a difference.
He already knows. He said you told him already.
I did not tell. Did I tell
somebody
him?
told him. He knows it's
that's
getting
my
nerfed.
bad. Oh,
Yeah,
no. That's my bad.
Yeah, I played with him last night. He knows.
Damn. Oh well, I'll still get it for him one day.
Yeah, but and then we circle back around to they've already nerfed the Not Forgotten. They've already nerfed the Luna's Howl. Now they're nerfing the freaking Recluse. All that's left is Mountaintop, Randy's throwing knife, and then the sniper Revoker, right? They've already nerfed
feel like
half
the
of the critical
Revoker
weapons.
needs to be nerfed at all. It's not that crazy good. It's just got that one initial perk that gives you ammo back. That's it. That to me should not get a nerf.
Yeah, and I promise you, I'm sitting here, I'm making the statement right now. Clip it, save it, throw it back in my face later. I don't care. The next nerf coming to Pinnacle Weapons is going to be the Mountaintop.
Yeah,
they're going to make it fire slower. They're going to do something to the mini missile. They're going to do something to the Mountaintop because people are learning, hey, if we yell at Deej enough, he's going to nerf whatever we don't like. Haha. So let's not bother getting the pinnacle weapons, just complain about it, and then he'll nerf it for everybody that has taken the time to do it. Yay! We've hacked the game, kind of, right? And that is not how this should work. I understand fixing a game. I understand rebalancing some things that are ridiculously powerful. One-eyed mask comes to mind. But they're just taking your hard work, twisting it into something decrepit and spitting in your face while they do it with a smile. It's like, yeah, I know you did a lot for these 3 weapons, meaning, Recluse, Luna's Howl, Not Forgotten. And even though you've spent all this time and blood and sweat, and I bet some people even shed tears over it, and we're gonna nerf it so that you can't use it anymore. And if you do use it, you're trolling your team.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just enjoying letting you guys talk about it forever.
Sorry, it's crap. It's BS. They need to stop nerfing the pinnacle damn weapons. It's a legendary that's too powerful. That's the damn point.
I think the
people have to work
the thing
for
is
it.
that we all agree really with
making a
Reform
damn
that,
drop, dude.
We've all worked really hard for this.
Hard to get.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, Demon was saying that we all agree with you.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. I sort of agree that the timing is weird. And we just, and they're doing it. They're not doing it now. They're doing it at the beginning of the next season. So, which always makes me think, okay, yes, now it's a convenient time to roll this, roll these, and the one-eye mask changes into the next season. My thought always goes to, is there some content coming where they're looking at this particular gun, like they turned the Jotun off before this last raid, and the Peregrine Greaves, and the third thing that I now can't remember. It always makes me think, is there something coming where they look at this and go, oh, this thing is totally going to break this thing we've built. Let's turn it off or tweak it a little bit so it's not quite so game-breaking. Because again, we have however many, weapons, exotics, armor pieces in this game. The more stuff you add to the game and the more content you build for it, you're never going to think of every last little possible build or possible option or combination of guns and weapons and armor you can put together to play these activities and raids and encounters and everything else. There's going to be those game-breaking things, and I wonder if they're starting to look and go, oh, this is going to be a game-breaking thing. We should maybe make it a little less game-breaking.
So basically, they're going to add an exotic in that when you get precision damage or kills, and it's going to reload your weapon automatically. That's what's going to happen. And for some reason, the Recluse was doing that, and they can't fix it, so they're going to nerf the.
No,
right. I still really like my gnawing hunger. I mean, again, as someone who, my first goal for the season was I'm going to jump into comp. I'm going to get my Recluse. I'm going to have it. Yeah, it's fun. Again, I got it primarily for PvE, and that's primarily where I've used it. I pull it out when I get a little tilty in Crucible because I run into the one-eyed mask Titans with the mountaintop and the Recluse. I'm like, I can do that too, except I can have more bullets than you and stand further away from you and murder you. So it's definitely it's a fun gun. And again, it was I'm trying thinking back to when Lunas and Not Forgotten were at their peak. And now Recluse, even seeing more Recluses, it's just a little less rage-inducing being murdered by the Recluse. Because at least I feel like I'm having a gunfight, even if it's Recluse to Recluse and I'm losing those gunfights. Fine,
Yeah.
At least I feel like I have a shot. With Lunas and stuff, it's like, oh, there's a guy. Oh, he sees me. Oh, I'm dead. Before I can even think, I've already been one tapped or two tapped, and I'm dead. So I'm happy, that those weapons have gotten less prominent from the nerfs. And again, they're just hard to get. Again, I've got my Recluse, still haven't got my Lunas, partially because I don't care that much, and partially just because it's a grind that takes a while and it's not where I want to spend my time. But it definitely it does seem like a sort of a weird time to make these nerfs. And again, and I wonder too if maybe they're going to come out with
nerf though. They didn't need to be nerfed because if you're just worried about getting 3-tap from across map, any scout rifle with explosive rounds is going to jack up his shot, right? It's going to flinch him off the shot anyway.
Nobody uses scout rifles except for momentum control. That's why they built
having to freaking nerf the weapon into whatever state that it's in now.
Right. Well, and of course, the thought is, are they going to bring out another SMG in this new season? that might be, I don't want to say better than Recluse, but maybe would have something more interesting than Recluse. I don't know.
Well, I mean, the exit strategy is not a bad submachine gun, man.
No, it's not. I was running the Force with it this week. I always think, and I always think about, the timing of things. And yeah, again, season changeovers, big code changes, good time to put things in, gives them some time to play test it with the new content and everything else, and see how it plays out. But I always just think about, okay, season changes, making changes to weapons. One eye mask,
and
no
you
brainer,
said you have
obviously.
the Recluse, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how much of a pain it was for you to get it, but you don't feel any kind of.
It took me a day.
Oh, well.
Starting which and again, and I totally also completely understand, as someone who started this season of the Undying to get my Recluse from zero, starting from 0 to 2100, it took me. I basically knocked out all 4 Iron Banner bounties and then did my Recluse in about a day. It was still a grind. It was irritating, but it's still, as someone who got it much, much quicker, because again, I put some time into it last season and I could not get to 2100. So I have it, but I definitely did not I put the time into it last season, but I definitely didn't put in the time and the sweat and the tears that, like Andy and Night Demon did, and actually got it before they made it much easier to get with the comp changes and the beginning of the season where maybe, and again, the game opened to free to play. So I'm sure I was playing a lot of people who were not, top tier PvPers.
Did you play with friends or did you play by yourself?
I did the whole thing solo. I jumped into that solo queue and I sat in that solo survival queue.
That solo queue makes things a lot easier. The last couple seasons when I was trying to grind it and I just gave up the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
I was with blueberries and it's like I could, as soon as we hit a one-eyed wall, I just lost all my points. Went back down to 0, back down to rank 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And this season, yes, it was easier to get to 2100, but I tried in other seasons to get it, and it tilted me to no end.
Yeah. Last season, I think I ended up at like 18 or 1900. Like I got fairly close to it, but again, I jumped in with Main Instigator a couple nights. Like I jumped in with some people sometimes, or I know I played a couple rounds with Andy and Night Demon just to do my like 3 or 4 games in a week. But I never got, like a full team of 4 together to sit down and say, let's go do this as a thing. It was always 2 of us at most, maybe 3 of us a time or 2, just saying, hey, let's see if we can get string 2 or 3 wins together just to push that bar a little more forward. So again, I'm coming over this from someone who didn't invest quite the time and effort. And again, SMGs really aren't my thing. So it's a nerf, but I'm kind of like, whatever. And I'm sorry, I'll let Andy speak now.
Yeah, that's right. So I was just going to say, this season, I felt like I left it too late to get into competitive because I had not played competitive all this season until, was it the end of last week or the beginning of last week? And everyone was telling me how it's really easy. I'll be sweet because I needed to get it to finally get my mountaintop and also the Randy's throwing knife. So I said, okay, I'm going to invest some time, and that was probably my worst competitive experience of my life. And I played last season to 2100. It's like everyone that was sweaty decided to wait as well, and they all just joined at the same time as me. And it was the first day was rough. I got it on my second day, thankfully, but that first day, I think I lost my first 5 matches, and I just wanted to end everything. And then I played 1 match and won, and that gave me 240 glory. And I was like, okay, that made it worth it. But it was rough. But then day 2, I went through and I got my 2100. And then as soon as I did that, I haven't played Crucible since. So
well, I'm still playing because, like I said, I got Luna's Howl, and I'm trying to get that not forgotten before I lose this momentum that I have. But
I do think the reason why the Recluse nerf is hitting quite hard is because, well, for us anyways, because we're just average players. We're not the the god tier players. We are average players that enjoy a weapon that we can sort of benefit from when we can actually get it to work, when we can get it to work for us anyway. We are not running around the map destroying whole teams, and if we do, it is like a one-off thing where the other team are all blind players that are running into each other like headless chickens, and we think, oh my god. I mean, I've never got a seventh column. I don't think I'll ever get a seventh column. If I do, it's because they're all blind standing in a corner and they just keep spawning on top of each other. That's the only way I'm going to get something like that. And I think with the Recluse, I love it. It's really good in PvP, and I do use it. And I lose to other guns. I don't just lose the Recluses. And I think that's where you'll find that there's that whole barrier between the top tier players and the lesser skilled players that do have the weapons. The ones that are destroying with people are the ones that are kind of maybe bringing this weapon into the, you know, the daylight, as it were, to say, right, this needs to get nerfed because it's too overpowerful. But as we've said with many things like the exotics and other weapons in the past, they're only overpowered for the people that can wield these weapons very well.
And you're right about that, which makes you say, you know, if they're gonna with this submachine gun, for example, right? Whatever else they pick up, it's gonna be the same result. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to nerf every weapon in the game, or are you just going to specifically attack good players and say, hey, if you play, you know, PvP and your PvP score is this much higher, then all of your damage is cut by 1/3.
It's like you were pointing out the other week with that YouTuber that was getting really salty about the fact that he couldn't use his weapon to go into normal play and destroy people with it.
That wasn't a weapon thing. That was a skill-based matchmaking thing. That's why he was upset, because he wanted to go in and poop on kids.
See, what frustrates me the most with this whole thing is that you'd think Bungie would have learnt from Destiny 1 in regards to weapon tuning. Why can they not build an environment where they can tune weapons for an armor for Crucible and then leave it for PvE? Like, you'd think by now they would have some system in place.
They don't want to, because that's extra work, that's extra programming.
But because the problem with these weapons are in Crucible, people are unhappy that they're dying from these weapons, where PvE players are loving them because they're just so helpful.
Yeah, they're stupidly powerful in PvE. Like I was running through the Haunted Forest with the exit strategy and the Recluse and the boots that I continue to get wrong every single time. Dune Marchers? Peacekeepers, thank you.
Peacekeepers.
One of these years I will look it up before I open my mouth and I will get this right. But yeah, and I mean just running through and swapping those back and forth. I mean, it's a fantastic pairing. I mean, there's other things you can run too, but I don't know, just the void damage of the Recluse and then the exit strategy, or and then pairing that like with the Prospector for boss damage is just a lot of fun. Just to be continually firing all the time. So I don't know. It's again, I got the gun because I wanted to use it in PvE. I've used it in PvP a little bit, but even then, I mean, I'm a huge auto rifle fan. Again, I go back to my gnawing hunger. It feels like it's not enough bullets in too close range to really do the hitting that I want to do with an auto rifle. And like I understand the point of SMGs in the game, but it's it's just not my play style.
Going on that point there, right? You're an auto rifle kind of guy. Let's say they took your sweeter business and they nerfed its damage by 1/3. Then what?
Then I just pick up a different one. Then I go back to my ringing nail. I mean, that's the thing. Like I enjoy guns, but really, even the bygones that I fell in love with, I don't think I've really touched this season because I've gone on to other things. I don't. I mean, even the love affair I have with guns, if they were to take that one gun away, now like Panoramics, who sent me angry text messages going, "Why is my Telesto out of the game? What did they do to my Telesto?" He was having a meltdown. This is part of his identity as a human being, as a Telesto user. There's no gun that if they took away, I would be that devastated over. Yeah, I'd be irritated, but I'd find something else. Like there's just no single gun. Now take away my synthesis or something, and we might be angry. Like the armor pieces that I come to rely on, I have a little more reliance on because I'm like, no, this enables a certain play style that this armor piece lets me do. The guns, it's kind of like you mix and match. Okay, you take one away, and I'll just grab another one. You take this away, I'll do something else.
I'm thinking this probably is the way for you, and this is just an assumption, is because you were never mentally invested in getting these weapons that you have, right? You just go for them, you get them to drop, you're like, oh, hey, this is new. What does this do? Oh, this is pretty cool. I like it, right? You you got it. You didn't have to earn it. You didn't have to
there's a checkbox.
Invest in it. You know,
there's a checkbox. I did the thing. Like I spent this week going through and completing my entire Tiny Raisin quest line.
Yeah,
just to get a toothbrush to brush my teeth for a meaningless triumph. I did a thing because it's a thing to do in the game. Like I'm not quite as collectory as Night Demon. Like I don't need to be a completionist, but I'm like, there's a quest line. It irritates me that this quest line's not done. Even if it's a dumb quest, even if it's a gun I will never use. I've got a vault full of exotic weapons right at the quest for, and I have never put them on. I've never fired them. I've got 3 pairs of Peregrine Greaves. I've never put them on this year. But I've got them. They're in the vault there. I got the World Lion Zero. Got that quest done. I've used it maybe twice.
Clearly,
it sits in the vault forever. So
if I earn something and somebody takes my stuff, then that. It's like them taking a high amount of taxes on my paycheck. Hey, I've worked a 40-hour week, but I only get paid 1/10 of my money. What the hell? You know, you're taking my stuff. I've earned the right to use or have this stuff, and you're taking my stuff. Leave my stuff alone, Bungie.
Yeah, no, I do. I see your point, and I do agree with you with most of it. With the fact that these weapons were put in the game as those weapons, and you would have thought at some point these weapons would have been tested with other things that are in the game. I mean, there must be testers that they have to. And really good testers. I mean, they keep inviting these people from the community that are top tier or tiers, you know, in their field of, you know, either PvP or PvE. You would have thought that they would have seen this before it's even shipped and gone, hang on a minute, we need to make sure that they keep shipping these items too powerful for what they want them to initially be in the end. Or I understand
that whole clickbait thing. Hey, look what we have in the game for you, like the Last Whisper, right? We talked about this before. Look what we've got in the game, guys! Congratulations, you can get this stuff. All right, everybody's got it. What do? We nerf it.
And to be honest, if I was just gonna say, to be honest, if they invited you in there and you found a weapon that was OP, you wouldn't tell them. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's fine."
I would.
No, you'd be like, no, this is great. This is
no. I would tell them that it's overpowered, and I wouldn't have any problems doing it because, you know, especially depending on how you earn it, right? Like if it's an exotic and it's overpowered, I would say, yeah, this is going to be great in X, Y, and Z game modes, but it's going to suck here, or it's just going to be great everywhere, right? I would absolutely tell them because I don't want the whole, you know, because I've experienced it. I've been like, oh my God, this is amazing. Only to have them say, yeah, we know, we're taking it away. Wait, what? Why? Why are you touching my stuff? You know?
And I do think they probably will.
They should have made the exit strategy have a unique perk that's different from the Recluse. That might tell people, well, hey, why use the Recluse when I can use this? And actually, they're in 2 different slots, aren't they? Never mind.
They are. Yeah. And
use both.
Kill one of the things. Right?
Exactly.
You know? Or maybe come up with a scout rifle that's got an amazing perk. You know, hey, with the scout rifle, whenever you kill somebody with the scout rifle, your whole team gets a health boost. Or I don't know. That's ridiculous. I get it. But just another weapon that can do a thing that's in this slot that would pull people away from a Recluse, you know? And if the people have earned this and they don't want it nerfed, then just make this other weapon, whether it be a scout rifle, shotgun, fill in the blank, available as a drop. You know, hey, you can get this weapon as a drop in the world. This is an exotic, or this is a unique, curated, legendary weapon that's got this particular perk on it. You know, and it's a good perk, and you can go out there and you can farm that perk to get it, and you might not use the Recluse just because this weapon's better. The Recluse wasn't nerfed, but this weapon is better in a different way. You know? Stop being lazy. Stop breaking the stuff that we like to play with, and give us other things to play with that are new, that are good. Instead of just taking away the good stuff that we have. Every good piece of exotic armor gets nerfed up to and including the one-eyed mask. You know, every good legendary pinnacle weapon is getting nerfed. So far, it's only half, and I say half because it's true, of the freaking PvP pinnacle weapons, right? When's the other half going to get nerfed? It's just stop breaking the things that we enjoy playing with. We're here to play your game because we enjoy playing your game because X, Y, and Z. And one of those is because of the weapons that we have that we enjoy playing with. And you're taking them away. You're taking away my feeling to want to play your game that you're making.
The way they approach the Recluse nerf is they're treating it like the Prometheus lens kind of thing, like we had where that was completely bugged out and was glitched, and they're making it sound like the Recluse. No, but they're making it sound like the Recluse is so prevalent in PvP that it's so godly and nobody else uses anything else, and it's so overpowered. But this weapon isn't that. I honestly haven't seen it like that, and I haven't seen YouTube videos. I haven't seen Reddit posts screaming out for this to be nerfed.
Because it's not like
I
that.
honestly, yeah, but that's what I don't understand. It's not something that's broken in the game that needs to be fixed.
Like you said, it's like they wanted to secretly test it, but then they gave us a quest for us to only use SMGs. Like, of course, we're going to use the best SMG in the game, but it's like their test failed, but they're going by the results anyway. It's like we want to test to see if people use this weapon.
I don't even think that's the case. I don't think it's based on testing. I think it's based on people complaining that haven't gotten it. They just don't want to go up against it anymore. That's my thing.
But they've made it more attainable. They really have. I mean, we've all got it now.
Right. It took me, really about 6 or 7 hours. And it was really just, again, so, I mean, honestly, that solo playlist changed everything about competitive.
It's kind of money.
So, Nollis, have you got anything?
No, other than I knew it was coming.
Do you have your Recluse?
I do. And once I got it, as soon as I got it and started using it in both PvP and PvE, I knew it was only a matter of time before they nerfed it because of how many people were going to obtain it with the new glory ranking. For me, it was just kind of like hold my breath until use it as long as I can with as good of perks as it has on it currently, and just know that it's probably going to come to an end.
So what you would just like you just took it up the tailpipe? You're okay with it? It's like, I knew it was coming anyway, and I'm fine with it. Or, I mean, we all knew it was
have to bleep that, Night Demon, because that's.
No, taking it up the tailpipe is not wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Shut up.
Okay.
Don't worry, Andy. I have many ways of editing him.
But anyway, I mean, it sounds like you're okay with it to me. You're just like, I knew it's coming. So what? You're not angry. You're not upset that it's happening. Knowing it's coming is not really the point. It's how you feel about it.
It goes back to, I guess, the conversation we've had about exotics, where they're exotic, they're pinnacle, they're the top line of level of weapons, and why do they need to keep nerfing them? If it takes that much grinding to achieve them, to get them, to obtain them, I mean, it makes me upset. Like, I don't like them coming into the game, going back to the Whisper. Like, me and Queen Anne's and Brizzle grinded that out forever, and then they nerfed it. And same with the Recluse. We all were excited that we finally got the Recluse, especially now that I'm running Titan. And unlimited submachine gun ammo was a lot of fun to run in both PvP and PvE. And just the fact that now it's nerfed. Something else is nerfed yet again. That's nerfed, pinnacle. But, Tuesday. Is it Tuesday?
So one of the main points I was saying,
about a month.
Was, and I'm not going to go back into the whole thing, right? But an exotic, you get an exotic as a drop, right? Whether it's in a raid or whatever, right? You get an exotic as a drop. You don't normally have to go out and do a whole bunch of grinding for an exotic. Some you do, and I acknowledge that. But for a pinnacle weapon that you've had to go out and specifically do crap you don't want to do for the most part to get this weapon, and them nerfing something that you've earned, something that you've worked for, blood, sweat, tears, all that other crap. I think that hits harder than just an exotic getting nerfed. That's why I'm so passionate about this over exotic nerfs, because it hits home, I guess. Whatever. Yeah.
I was going to say, if anybody has got any opinions on it that are, contrary to what we're actually saying, any average players or any highly skilled players that think we're wrong, let us know. Just email us, tweet us, so we can discuss it a bit further, because it's interesting to hear other people's opinions, which is one of the reasons why I asked Andy to come on. Somebody that's different to how us three kind of play or have achieved this weapon. So it's interesting to hear anybody else's opinions on it, because I haven't heard anybody screaming and shouting saying we need this weapon completely nerfed. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, again, I've been watching some YouTube this week, and yeah, there's no like, oh my god, this is so prevalent. Oh, we have to. It's like, yeah, it's out there. We've moved on to other things. It's this is not that. It's not that big a deal in the bigger scheme of things. It seems like
it's getting nerfed next season. I thought it was getting nerfed
next season.
Next season.
Yeah, Recluse Wally Mask are both next season. So in a month-ish, however many days it is.
So,
which again just makes me think of seasonal changes, but yeah, we'll see.
End of rant.
So
on a side note, this is going to be a 4-hour rant episode. So
correct,
unless you'll be, even if you edit this down, it's still going to be a 4-hour rant episode.
Well, we only got 9 pages, so people want 2 hours. So sidebar. Right. Dragon Sin M, all one word, gaming. He's gonna put us in his YouTube channel, so I figured we could give him a name drop in our links at the end.
Oh,
right?
that's kind of him.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
By the way, my wife just transferred to a hunter and can't go back to Warlock. It's so funny.
What?
That's what he said.
All right, guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna sign off.
Hi, man. Well, it was nice having you on.
Yeah, nice of you to throw some opinions in there.
Yeah.
If you guys are still on in 15 minutes, I'll jump back on.
We'll be jumping on PC or Xbox?
We will be on.
You poor more man, thinking we're fast or expedient at this.
Oh no, I saw where you were at in the show notes. So.
I saw the show notes.
I realized after an hour of recording, you're on the first page, so I'll probably jump back in 15.
I've seen the Face of Madness, and it was not good.
I've seen.
What do you mean? The Face of Madness is amazing, dude. This is why I'm here. Wait.
All right, see you guys.
See you later, Dallas. Oh, just. So speaking of ranting and nerfing things, here we go with the end of the season being nerfed. There we go. We've got 1 month left.
I don't
the
like
season
that. I've got
Undying.
so much to do for this season that I haven't focused on. I need to cram
We've
it
all
in
been
now.
enjoying just playing the game, and then you forget you've got to do the Vanguard, the Crucible, the Gambit, specific quests to get the shaders, the emblems to unlock the weapons.
Your little Undying title goes away after this. Can't achieve it anymore because there will be no more Vex Offensive. I looked at the things I needed to do in Vex Offensive, and I'm like, oh, that's a lot of weapons I have not used yet. Not even a little bit.
I mean, we did cover it in episode 41, which I will link in the show notes, of how to do the Season of Undying badge or your emblem and whatever it's called. Yes, that thing.
I'm missing so much from that badge.
Bungie and the TWAB this week are reminding players to make sure that they still do the first watch, which is the Vanguard, the Battle Drawers, which is Crucible, and Keep On, which is the Gambit one. For the specific quests, make sure you've picked them.
Keeping on.
Yeah, make sure you've picked them up from the relevant vendors, because you may have picked it up on one character and not picked it up on another, which I found out that I did this week. I hadn't picked up the Gambit one on my Titan, although it tracks across all characters. Yeah, it does. It does track across all characters, but it was just that, oh my god, I need to pick that up just to make sure that I've got it in my inventory so I can see it. I think I dumped it only because I was trying to fill up with more bounties. So yeah,
bright dust to earn, you need to have space.
Exactly. So Bungie have got a what's going away, or what's specific to Season of the Undying, and players should see our overview page, which we'll link in the show notes. And a reminder about the associated badge for Undying. You have to have completed a Master Nightfall difficulty.
I can't complete. Wait, which is the Nightfall that you have to get 100k for?
No,
I could not complete that.
No, you have to complete a Master Nightfall, the Ordeal.
Now who's having the stroke?
Exactly, yeah. You've got to complete a Master Nightfall.
You have to go do a really hard nightfall. The Master one, the Master Nightfall.
The Master Nightfall, the
You must
Ordeal.
complete the Master Nightfall, everyone.
The
which is very
Ordeal version,
important.
the Master version, which is the 980. And it doesn't matter about your score or anything else like that. I think you can even skip killing all the overbearing champions throughout that. As long as you complete it, there is a triumph that unlocks once you've done that. And once you unlock the triumph and you complete it, you'll get the ship to drop. And the ship is part of the associated badge.
So how did that one go there, Night Demon? Tell us about your experience doing a Master Nightfall.
Took an hour and a half of people running around like headless chickens trying to kill things as we went through the Nightfall. I believe one of us got an Ascendant Shard or the golf ball. I think we all got exotics, which was quite nice. I got 6 of the long shard things. I don't know what Pony actually got, but we all got something from it, and we got the platinum score because we took our time and made sure that we killed the overload champions throughout the whole thing. So, they're like I think we said on a recent podcast of how to go through it. You have to kill all the champions as you go through, and then you'll get you'll go up the like silver, gold, platinum tiers. And if you kill all of the champions all throughout, you'll get the platinum, where you've got a higher chance to get some of the infusion fuels and exotics later on. So,
time limit doesn't matter.
Time limit didn't matter. We had nothing on our score.
That's good.
We still got the ship, so it works.
Okay.
Side note for just in general, momentum control will be going away, and it will be on a rotation again in the future. So stay tuned for further announcements.
So glad for that.
I need that to be permanent. That's the best Crucible mode they've ever added.
Thank you. Oh my God, somebody that finally agrees. Yes, that game mode is amazing.
Would it upset all 3 of you to know that I have not stepped into that yet?
Excuse me.
Would
that upsets me?
would it upset Respawn for me to remind him about last episode how much I agreed with him on that? Or is that the past that we don't speak of because it's very confusing to him?
Titans, your opinion really doesn't matter. Fellow hunters, that's who I respect.
Fair point.
Yeah, that Randy's throwing knife I received because of that mode.
Yes.
On my hunter, middle tree, void, a scary invisible killing machine.
And there you go.
I had to take my Jade Rabbit in to get the trigger replaced 3 or 4 times this week because I wore it out.
I completed my Jade Rabbit Catalyst because of that mode. I forgot about the Catalyst until it popped up saying I completed it.
Right?
Nice. I did a thing. Yeah, I apparently had already completed mine. I don't know when, but again, it gave me a thing to do, so I went and did it. But yeah, that is the Jade Rabbit mode, and it was funny. Like earlier on, I saw a lot of grenades. I've seen less in the last couple of weeks, sort of like from Iron Banner and onward. I was seeing a lot less grenade launcher players. So either they've gotten their mountaintops, they've moved on, or I just haven't run into as many of them.
Yeah, or got fed up with the quest, one or the other.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't want to take up an exotic slot with the Jade Rabbit, cut and run. It's an energy scout rifle that also
really is so good.
One shot, and you can add a mod to it, which is even better. So it's still 1 taps to the head, and you can add any mod you want to it. So that's a good replacement for the Jade Rabbit if you don't want to take up an exotic.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I still think that the freaking Mida multi-tool is amazing. I liked it so much better than the Jade Rabbit.
Yeah,
so much better. I did better with it too.
I didn't use it only because I knew it wasn't a 1 tap, but I probably should have used it because it's probably more stability and quicker to use.
No, it was still a 1 tap in some cases, and at the worst case scenario, a 2 tap. But that 1 tap flinches. So all the sniper rifles out there, all the freaking Jade Rabbits, it flinched them out of their shot, and you had that time to get the second shot.
Yeah, I started with Mida, then I went back to the Jade Rabbit because I said, I've got the speed, but I would flinch one guy, then get shot from another guy. So it's like I can flinch the one dude, but I'm still not safe. It's like year 1 trials with all the snipers out there. I took 1 sniper. Yeah, there's 6 more hiding. Don't worry. Yeah, but basically grab your favorite sniper scout rifle, whatever it is, and go just knock it out. It's a lot of fun.
And you may have one hiding in your vault if anybody's done like the Last Wish raid. The Transfiguration, like the one that I've got, has got Rampage and Kill Clip on it. So if you've got something like that, That is going to be devastating.
You don't even need those perks, but if you've
I
got
know.
them, then you're just
You're a bad man.
I am.
Then jump on your hunter, go middle tree, void, and crouch.
There are people throwing controllers into televisions somewhere in the UK right now.
I know I've sent some videos.
But
if
he's
you
not
want,
wrong, though.
I can
How do
send
you know
you
what
It's
my
not
wife's
wrong,
doing?
man.
How do
It's
you know what my
so
wife's doing?
it's mean.
But
Well, actually, I shouldn't say the UK because you haven't said footy, so you wouldn't know. You can't participate in this conversation.
Right.
If
And
you-
what makes
if
it
you
even
guys-
worse is in momentum, you don't have the radar, right? So when you go invis, you come off the radar. So that's not really a factor. But when you go invis, even though they can still see your shimmer, when they're at Jade Rabbit range, they can't really
No,
see
they
the
can't.
shimmer.
You guys need
all
to
they see is
upload
death.
my videos where every time they popped out of a corner, they died before their head was visible. They were just popping, just pop every time they
Golly.
stepped into my vision. I really need to, maybe should upload it to your Twitter or that can be part of your YouTube video. But
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
That's
some great
Parody's job.
footage. Yeah,
It should be someone other than my terrible gameplay every week.
yeah.
So speaking of your terrible gameplay, so let's get over to the terrible known issues parody.
There are some terrible known issues. So we got players who cross save to a platform where they do not own Forsaken may lose access to the exotic quest for Malfeasance when they defeat the Ascendant Primeval Servitor. So if you don't own Forsaken, you can't get nice things like the Malfeasance, which is a fantastic hand cannon and super fun in Gambit. The complete 10 legendary frame step for the Jotun and Le Monarch exotic quests are only counting curated weapon drops from the Black Armory forges. So good news, you can get the Izanagi's burden. Bad
I've
news,
got a question.
you can't
Kind
get
of.
the other ones.
You can do the burden.
I've
Kind
got a
of.
question.
Yes.
I have an
Has
answer.
there always been a quest to get the Jotun or Le Monarch? Because I don't
No.
remember
No,
doing a quest.
these are
Okay.
new things because it's now gone into the rotation.
Right. Yeah.
Lots of weapons,
Yeah.
it's just like random
Yeah.
drops.
I wasn't aware of a quest, but when I saw these updates saying people kept posting online, like mentioning the quest, I'm like, what quest? They just drop. I didn't realize that they added a quest.
Yeah.
That's nice of them.
They had a quest, and because there's no longer any sort of way to unlock the forges. You just have to wait for them to come up in the rotation anymore.
Yeah.
They don't live all the time, or you don't have to spend your days waiting for a guy to spawn and killing him, and then killing 50 of his friends. And also the weekly Vanguard Strike Challenge that says players, quote, must complete Vanguard bounties during the week. This is not true. Players must complete Vanguard strikes with an equipped subclass that matches the week's elemental singe modifier to actually complete the Vanguard Strike Challenge. So words are tricky.
Only a little
So
bit, though.
just because you're reading the thing in the game doesn't mean you're doing the thing the game wants you to do.
Mhm.
So for a list of other emergent issues, go check out the known issues thread and the #help forum, where you will learn fun things about, not being able to throw your hammers or shield in momentum control, or the fact that you haven't been able to use your apps for the last couple of days because there was an emergent issue and they turned it all off, which has now been turned back on again. So yeah, if you play this game at all, follow Bungie somewhere to learn about the things that are broken, so you will hit your head against the wall less and throw less controllers through television screens.
You say less, but I hear more.
No, it's less.
Because you don't notice a lot of these things until you realize that they're broken. Then you're like, summon the biscuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because even though I knew the hammers were broken, I knew we talked about the shield being broken, I still tried to throw 2 shields of momentum control, and I could not. At least with the shield, though, you can block or, melee. At least you can do something other than, look, guys, I have a hammer. It's flamey, and it's nice. See it? Want to touch it?
I do find that funny these days that I go to do something in the game and I go, well, why isn't this way? And then it suddenly dawns on me, oh yeah, we talked about this in the podcast. Yeah, I should not have done that. I was stupid. Why didn't I just remember that?
Because things are hard.
Yes.
See,
Our
y'all make
podcasts
fun
are
of me for
long.
not remembering things on the podcast, and rightfully so. But y'all are just as bad, man. Like,
Yeah, but
No, I wouldn't say
we at least
just
remember
bad.
we were on the podcast. We remember, big things about
I
the
remember I
podcast.
was on a
We
pod.
remember there is a podcast.
I'm here. I remember these things. Why are you gonna be mean to me?
I
Why are
think
you being mean?
The only reason you're here is
That's-
because you defaulted into the podcast chat. So when it comes up are we recording at this time during this week? You go, oh yes, but even then, sometimes you don't show up, and we have to remind you to show up.
No, because my
What do
son
you mean,
said that
no?
he could stay on till 4 o'clock, and then I said no because I have to get off at 4 o'clock to do a podcast. And then you send the freaking thing saying, "Oh, well, can we make it 5?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And then I was here at the time that I was supposed to be here. You
No,
buy?
you were here early. You were here
I was
early.
here early because I was already in here.
Yeah.
And
so-
I make fun of you because that's our brand. That's what the people tune in for. You scream about things in weird and inarticulate manners that you don't understand what you're. I make fun of you, and 19 is British. That's why people love us.
He's British. That's like the worst part.
Thanks.
You scream, I make fun of you, and he's British. It's
my
like,
wife continues just to say wants to request 19 to read her bedtime story so she can fall asleep every night. And I keep telling
I
her
bet
he
she
can't
does.
read. That's
I-
the problem.
I can't read.
oh,
He has a phenomenal voice, but unfortunately he's illiterate. So
oh man,
that's the problem.
it's funny because it's true.
I mean,
I'm sure half the words that I read in the Harry Potter novels when I was reading them are just made up. So
your kids are very confused about Harry, the whole wizard thing. They did not see that coming at all.
You're a blizzard, Harry.
And then Harry got his lizard out from under the stairs. Wait, no, that's
Right? Oh man, you're a lizard,
oh
Harry.
god, you
Don't
wait.
you need a wizard? No, he's a lizard. That's why he lives under the stairs.
You've put a discussion in here. We had a discussion. We don't need another discussion.
no.
Hold on, no,
See,
we got a
yeah, but-
discussion. Doesn't have to.
Dear
be-
God.
The thing is, I do apologise for anybody
You're a
listening to the
madman.
podcast. I wasn't aware until much later that Respawn wanted to rant about things that went on for too long.
That is fair. That is fair.
Please
But hey,
enjoy
everybody
as we
contributed
enter
in that rant there.
Yeah,
hour
I was gonna say,
7
I-
of the
and
podcast.
I
feel
am
like that was-
hoping.
I feel like
I
it was a
am
group
hoping-
rant.
I am hoping that these discussion points we will all contribute to. So, something I wanted to discuss this week was the haunted forest and the getting to the branch 9 of the forest to get the pinnacle reward, and how hard I've found it myself to actually get there and get that pinnacle reward. And I've tried 3 weeks in a row with various different teams, and every week we have failed. And it's not like it's an issue with getting through and killing the ads. It's not an issue with killing the bosses. It's just the RNG element of it, I think, to be honest. I mean, I was talking with you, Parody, wasn't we, when we were doing it yesterday?
Yes,
We would get to the
or
point
Chad
of
says no.
98%. We'd get to the 98% completion and still have to run 20 seconds to the next gate, unlock it, go through another empty part of the forest to find one enemy to kill to then get to the boss. And I think the RNG elements of that are the things that are making it frustrating. I mean, we tried it 3 times yesterday, I believe.
three times, and there was that one time that we started, and in branch 1, room 1, there were demons and Chad, and Night Demon goes, nope, that one doesn't count. We're going to orbit and trying this again. It's like,
No,
we're-
Just the
that is
immediate
not the
nope.
last run. We're doing this again. And well, then there's the other one where I think because it was you and me and ODST Mayhem, and I think it was you had come to res me, and I'm looking around, I'm like, Chad's nowhere. Like I'm
He
looking
was
at
not. He was not on my radar.
I'm like, we're good. There's no Chad. Things are
There was
fine.
nothing. There was
I'm
nothing in
clear,
front of
come
you.
res me. He comes to res me. The moment he reses me, Chad pops out of nowhere, swings his sword, kills us both. It's like, no, the game. And again, we were at, I don't remember, branch 6 or 7 or 8. I don't. We were
Look,
later
when
in
Bungie
the run.
says you're dead. You're dead. You don't
Yeah.
get to revive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we
Right?
were later in the run at like 80 something percent, in that branch, and Bungie's like, no, you're done now. You thought
Yeah.
you were having a good run, you're done.
Yeah. No, you don't. When Bungie says you're dead, you're dead. You should know this. When Bungie says you're not dead, you're dead. Okay? Just accept the fact that you don't get to play this video game.
Hey, we've been crashed again.
Have we?
The more the
Hello,
merrier.
everybody. It's your boy, Dandy,
Oh my.
pulling up in the gang.
You act
Whoever it
like
is,
you don't know
you're
what's happening,
quiet.
Respawn, but I can see in the
I
chat
have
you are
no
messaging these
idea.
people. Come and join us.
No.
Come and join us.
Um,
Oh, I'm so
Actually,
surprised
that
you're
was
here.
parody.
It's not me.
Parody.
I would
Actually-
never.
This one was parody.
Oh,
Parody.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we are not the same person.
Yeah.
Pan and I are the same person. Get it right.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Hi,
Dandy,
Dandy. I'm Andy.
Dandy.
How's it going? How's it going?
Good.
So you
What's
have
new?
missed the epic long hour rant from Respawn, which goes over the recluse nerf.
and co. Okay.
Mainly you. Is there
I
And
really
co.
miss it.
okay, Anko? Is there anything you would like to say at
No,
this
you
point
didn't.
before we move on about the recluse?
The recluse?
Yes. Getting nerfed.
I saw earlier they're not really changing. I mean, they're changing the way the buff works, right?
Yeah.
They're just reducing it, right? Or are they just showing it?
Taking away the
What are
crit damage from
The body shots.
body shots, yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
Yeah,
are you a PC player?
yeah, I'm a PC player.
It doesn't
You don't
matter.
care.
Doesn't matter to
Yeah.
you.
It really doesn't. I just aim and hit the head anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I don't get that much bonus damage.
He says, "What are these body shots you console people speak of? I'm not familiar with this term. Is that the part that's
Well-
not the head that I guess you could shoot? I've never shot it before. I didn't know you could do that.
Humble brag. Even on Xbox, I
Ooh.
generally hit the head.
I mean, I hit
But-
my head all the time, but it
the
doesn't
thing
help me
about-
out
the
either.
thing What makes the gun good? And this was my whole complaint. The thing that makes the gun good is the fact that you didn't have to aim for the head. That's what made it good.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it's just good because it's a fast firing SMG.
But
pretty good damage.
But that doesn't separate it from all other fast firing SMGs. You know what?
Oh no, it's just gonna be. It's not gonna be special, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm still gonna use it because it looks cool as hell.
Why is nobody else angry about this? I'm genuinely angry about this, and everyone else is
I
just
don't
like
know.
meh,
Because
meh,
you're,
You've been
you,
playing with me for a little
you
I'm
while.
default to
upset.
anger.
meh,
I'm upset.
meh.
You default to anger. That's why.
I very, very rarely get mad, especially at game studios for anything.
See, that's the same person.
Mostly Bungie.
Yeah.
I'm just it's your game. Do whatever you want with it. I'll still play it.
Do
If I don't like Recluse
anything
after
you
the
want to
update-
it.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly,
No?
Some of these nerfs, though, man, when you work hard to freaking get a weapon and then they take it away from you, that kind of kills my desire to play the game. It's like, hey, I worked hard for that, and you just snatched it away. It's like, hey, all that money that you get for doing your job, you know, Dandy, give it to me. What? But it's mine. No.
what money?
I'm taking it.
Styrofoam doesn't have any money involved.
Listen, that's irrelevant. All right.
The only nerf I've ever been like really mad at is when they nerfed Shards of Galanor and not Mobius Quiver.
Orpheus Rig.
Orpheus Rig.
Yeah.
Just because it was such a
I got pretty tilted about the freaking boots, though.
Sustain.
Lunafaction boots.
Yeah.
I am actually running them right now, or actually no, I don't even think I'm running them now. But I didn't have them, so it didn't matter to me.
I still use Orpheus Rig, and it still works, but you need a lot of enemies to get into
Well,
tether.
I
but
use-
it
I
still
use-
works at least.
I used Orpheus Rig because I run bottom tree tether now for the boss damage. Right?
I still run top
way more
tree.
DPS.
Top tree with Orpheus Rig helps significantly with the Altars of Sorrow, like a lot. Like I don't. I think the team struggles to get through that without an Orpheus Rig tether. But that's just my opinion.
So,
But
Dandy,
shards of Galanor useless.
I was going to say, Dandy, you've joined us in the middle of our discussion of the Haunted Forest. Just to bring you up to speed, we were talking about how hard it is to get the pinnacle reward from it. Well, for us anyway. I don't know how you've gone through the Haunted Forest. Have you tried it? Have you got to branch 9? Good discussion.
Did he bounce out?
He's probably concentrating on something else.
Good talk.
Right.
Playing
Come on.
Destiny.
Hello. TikTok.
So I asked in the chat earlier on today about the Haunted Forest, and Andy responded, didn't you, Andy? If you
Yes.
tell the guys how you found it anyway.
Okay, Haunted Forest. It's I did not get far with blueberries. I didn't get far with our team. Like our clan didn't get the highest I got was basically I think 7 or 8 was probably the furthest I got to.
Yeah.
And until I decided to join our clan members, Main Instigator and Spicy Tim Curry. They are just gods at it. That I joined them knowing I was going to reach branch 9 because they've done it multiple times and they've reached that branch multiple times. I don't know what it is about them. They're just good at the game, or maybe their RNG in regards to getting enemies early might be better than everyone else. But yeah, they were able to get to branch 9 multiple
Well, the loadouts
times.
matter too. What are they rocking?
Yeah, it does. So basically, I've tried all the different loadouts throughout, but the one that worked was I used Mountaintop, Recluse, and Swarm of the Raven with Spike Grenade.
Yeah,
and also another aspect was the run that I made it through. No one was a hunter, so that could be it.
You found the secret. Squishy.
Yes.
So
Yeah, so it was I think 2 Titans and a Warlock.
The name of our spin-off show.
So yeah, I think that helped. I think once I ran with Pony and Jacqueline, it was 3 hunters. That was rough. That was yeah. So I think it might be just the classes, but surely not. But maybe the hunter just doesn't give out that raw damage. I'm sure if we changed our subclasses up, it may have helped. But yeah, I think having the 2 Titans and a Warlock helped, because I think every class that we were using was just giving out raw damage. But it just seemed like we didn't have many dead space in regards to not being able to kill enemies. So I don't know if that was just RNG or I'm not sure. But yeah, we basically our first try through we did it with main instigator and Spicy Tim Curry.
See, the one thing that gets me is you say that the hunters don't have the damage. Did I hear that right?
I'm not saying. I was saying us as hunters, that the classes we decided to use at the time didn't have the raw damage. I'm sure we could have changed up our classes to fix that.
Not hunters as a people, just those particular hunters.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I wasn't like gonna be like, oh my god, you should. No, because
Yes,
like,
you were. Don't lie.
no, because
You
I've
know
felt
I
that
made
way
hunter
before.
anyway. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I was saying last week with that build that I use with the artifact mods that give you your grenade and your melee back faster. I mean, it's just, dude, I'm always causing damage. Like I am never not throwing a grenade, and I've only got the one, and it's almost like I get it back so freaking fast, I mean, it's just, yeah. And then bottom tree tether just does so much damage. I know you don't use it, but you should.
Yeah. Well, we were using. I was using top tree. Jackie was using bottom tree, so it kind of worked within each other. Where I was generating the orbs on top of when he was tethering with his bottom tree, because the enemy was already tethered. It was doing the bonus damage anyway.
Okay, I can see that.
So,
but also, you got to have that bonus perk to give your void grenades the weaken effect. It helps tremendously.
That's what we were doing with main instigator and Spicy Tim Curry. That's what we were using. All 3 of us were doing the bonus grenade damage on top of that, which I was helping. But the bosses were not living for long at all.
Right,
but
and that was when you were a hunter.
Night Demon. Yeah, no, I was Titan.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. You can do the same thing with a hunter and still have that damage.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But I think what Night Demon was saying is that the bosses weren't what was affecting him. It was the in-between stages.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Just weren't there.
Correct.
Yeah,
no, I heard and I understand, but that's why I said you throw in all of the grenades. You throw all of the grenades and all of the melees. It's so good, man.
Yeah. I mean, even when 19 and I were running, the oppressive void grenades, and then I'd throw a bubble up and get that 35% damage boost, and the bosses were just done before they even showed up. It's like, I'm a boss. No, you're not. You're gone now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, the bosses weren't ever the issue. It was just our RNG of getting through the thing. So, Fuzco, as another PC person, you made it to 9. How did you find your 9 branches?
Welcome to the podcast, Fuzzy.
Right.
Fuzzy.
Thanks for having me back again. It was I don't know, it was a little bit of a challenge, but a little coordination between me and some of the other guys on PC, but not too terrible actually.
Okay. By the way, Fuzco, I am offended by you saying in one of our previous podcasts where you were here and I wasn't, having a hunter that knows what the hell he's talking about. Excuse me, sir? Excuse me?
You're excused.
No,
Fight.
you're
Right.
not.
Fight.
Over and done with. Carrying on. So, Dandy, how's your experience gone with the Haunted Forest? Have you reached branch 9?
I think I only got to branch 6, and then I got the werewolf and never played it again.
Okay.
I mean, why would you?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of my mentality. I mean, I'm kind of a collector. I wanted to play it a couple times because I wanted to get the Eris Morn mask, but then I just never got anybody else online, or I wasn't online. I haven't really played a couple weeks, kind of very sparsely. So I mean, I wasn't too worried about actually doing everything, but
I mean,
I'm kind of there with you. After I got the werewolf, I've only done it once just for the piece of pinnacle gear. After that, I haven't touched it.
yeah.
That's the same as me. After I got the
You can wear
werewolf,
the
I was like,
helmet
"Nah,
in
no
any
more of this."
activity, and you get the coins and the candy, so you don't need to go back. You know.
Yeah.
And I wore the helmet until I got what I considered to be the god roll of the werewolf, and then took it off. I'm done. No longer needed and or wanted. So
I mean, I also asked in the Discord for the Guardian Hub as well, and a couple of people responded. Kingsley said that he got there once, and that was with a group, not Blueberries. AR16FSU said that he got to 7, unfortunately. And then Imayakuro? I guess that's. I don't know these people's names. I do apologise. The highest that they got to
that
was
whole literacy thing coming back to bite him in the ass.
No, it's IMAIKERU. I don't know how to say that name.
I'm a Ikaru.
There you go then.
Weeb name.
Is it Mirakuru?
It could be.
Mirakuru.
I apologise. I don't know people's names.
Oh, Mirakuru.
Mirakuru.
Banned in Japan now.
Right.
That's great.
Probably.
I'm a Kuru.
So basically, people have been having problems with it.
He said the highest that it got to was 8 when he decided to try a sword, as he read somewhere that they were really effective against mostly everything, even the demons. And then the bosses, you could melt them pretty quick. 9 would have been tough in matchmaking. Hello Mish also only reached branch 8 with Blueberries. And I believe Sin says that he never got to branch 9.
My problem was I played with people that didn't play before, either Blueberries or some of my online friends, and they all just got Destiny, so they didn't play it last year or just didn't know how it worked. And it was so hard to explain to them that you just shoot things and then you move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was saying before you guys got in here that Parody and I were trying it yesterday and with ODST, and we're not, stupid players. We've played the Haunted Forest for the last couple of years. We know the mechanics. We know how to do what needs to be done. It's just that last bit to get to branch 9 that we were finding impossible, because there's always be something that would happen, like Chad would suddenly show up behind you and kill you, and he wasn't there on the radar. He just wasn't there. Parody and I both got clunked when I was rezzing him, and he was nowhere to be seen, but suddenly he just spawned behind us. We'd have to run for like 15 to 20 seconds to get to the next door to open the branch, and then still have to run to find one more ad. Again, that's 20 seconds that you've then added on. And that happened several times. It wasn't just one random branch. Like, it would happen at least once every time we did a run through. And I've run through with a couple of different teams this week and the last couple of weeks. And we've tried it every single time, 2 or 3 runs. We tried to get, work together with different weapons, with different masks, all the tips that we put out in the last couple of episodes, and it just hasn't worked. There's always been something that's kind of blocked us from getting there. And I was saying to the guys yesterday, I think that branch 9 for the pinnacle reward was too hard. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but compared to like Iron Banner, where you can just play the game, do 4 bounties and get pinnacle gear, you can do a 1k nightfall far easier with different strats. You can do the dungeon, you can do the raid, and they're significantly easier than trying to push yourself through to get to a branch 9, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't know how you guys feel about that.
What would you do for the pinnacle gear?
I feel like being pinnacle gear, it should be difficult.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be difficult.
But it should also be achievable as well.
I think maybe rather than just the random, I mean, Parody pointed out a good fact that when you're clearing branches in the haunted forest, it would make it it would make more sense that each branch has a specific number of enemies in it so that they total 100 by the time you get to it, not the fact that it gets to 98% or 96% and you have to run another couple of 20 seconds to get to the next branch to open up, to find somebody hiding, and you come up against a demon and you're like, I just need that extra 1%. If there was a specific amount of, I think it's the randomness of it, although that makes it fun. Sometimes it makes to get the pinnacle thing a bit unfair,
unachievable.
Yeah. In my eyes, anyway.
I almost think if they did want to keep it to tier 9 or whatever it is, that they should have made it a special kind of pinnacle gear that give you, well, I guess it doesn't matter now, but back before they changed it to the +2 for pinnacle gear, it would have given you +2 instead of just the +1 like normal.
Or, like you were saying, make it special.
Like the dungeon. Do it like
exactly.
The dungeon,
well, if you don't
get masterwork.
If you don't like how it's being done now, that's what I was saying earlier. If you think it's unobtainable the way it is now, what would you do to change it to get the same pinnacle gear? Not change pinnacle gear, because people are already complaining about how pinnacle gear is if you mess up once, you don't get to the max or whatever, right?
I'd add 150% worth of enemies per branch. As in 150%, as in, you need to get to 100. You need to get to 100% to go further. We'll add 150% worth of enemies in there, just like an extra 50% more enemies.
To get to
they're available,
or
to get to the boss.
Open up. Okay. I see. Yeah. Like have more enemies in every area so that it's easier to. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah,
because you're already fighting against the scale of the damage that goes up that you have to do as you go through the branches. You're also fighting against the modifiers in each branch, as well as the randomness of everything.
I think there's probably a lot they could change to make it either easier to get to tier 9 or more acceptable. I don't know what that means actually now that I say that, but
I hear a demon. Demon's taking over someone.
Nolus Daman is back.
Hey.
What's up? This is your live traffic report from US 1.
How are the roads looking out there?
Well, we had a little bit of rain. The wind's 20 miles per hour from the northwest, so it's blowing cars all over the place.
That's some
if everything
wind.
He said is actually true, that would be hysterical. I don't know why. Something's wrong.
I'm not in traffic, but I think that might be why my weather's slightly different. If I was in traffic, I bet that'd be hell.
So what you're saying is you're participating on the podcast while driving.
That's dedicated.
Okay,
exactly.
Then.
So we have another
exactly
respawn.
Is your license plate number? Just for the fans, right? Inquiring minds want to know, right? No.
This is Night Demon's favorite thing. People joining the podcast while driving.
No, I'm a fan of it.
So how far did you make it in the show notes?
We've actually almost made it down to Eververse gifting. Why is this not a thing? So why is Eververse gifting not a thing?
You mean like...
I've noticed that
silver.
Night Demon's given up
silver.
on numbering the pages, so we don't know how far behind.
Oh,
I've given up talking because my thing's on red at the moment. So
Open Office here knows what page we're on, and we're on 4 of 11. Although to be fair, the last 2 or 3 are just like. To be fair, like the last one is always just like the links that we put at the end of the show every week. So not even the links we talk about. Standard ones.
what I was going to say was last year to get the emblem for the Haunted Forest, you had to get to branch 7. And I remember how hard that was. What I don't understand was to try and make it to the pinnacle gear, they've added 2 extra branches and it's still as hard as it was last year. And that's what I found quite weird about why they've tweaked it to be as hard as it was. Nollis, have you got any opinions on the Haunted Forest? Because we were saying how hard it is to get the pinnacle gear and how I found it how hard. Parody, I think, is the same. We've run it with different people for the last couple of weeks, still haven't got the pinnacle reward. And we'd be running into issues where we'd have to go through the forest and search for somebody for 20 seconds and open gates before we could get something. Chad would randomly spawn behind us and kill us. And we'd find that doing Iron Banner bounties, 1K Nightfalls, dungeons, raids, easier than doing the Haunted Forest. What's your opinion?
So Queen Anne's and Brizzle and I actually had a fun experience in the forest where we made it to the 8th level. We were so close, yet so far. But Brizzle noticed that every time you spawn in at the beginning, that if you look to either the left or the right, in the far off distance, you see another platform with a red ring around it.
Yeah.
And so we made it our goal to reach that platform when we made it to the 8th and couldn't quite make it to the 9th. And we actually made it. Brizzle died right before we got there, but Queen Anne's and I landed on it. And we're not sure what happened, but we were teleported back to a different beginning.
Okay.
And Brizzle, since he died, teleported back to our original beginning. And so he was stuck on an island way out in the middle of nowhere and couldn't get back to where we were. And so basically, yeah, we just ended up killing the guy so we could go to the final boss. But it was very interesting. It ended up teleporting us to a different start. But it is hard as mess to get to the end.
Yeah.
But we had a pretty good strategy. They were both running heavy machine guns, and the perk that gives you better damage output on just everyone.
Right.
And then I was running Leviathan's Breath with the Terror perk that kills terrors, and we were able to melt terrors in less than 20 seconds every single time. But the difficulty that we found was just getting, like you guys were saying, finding that last red guy that's randomly hidden somewhere that I feel like was faulty programming.
Yeah. And, it's not like he's going to sit there and shoot you to let you know where he is. No, he's just cowering behind a corner somewhere, hoping you don't,
He's standing behind Chad, being like, Chad, I'll be back here. You stand over there. Keep me safe.
My big brother's going to beat you up if you don't leave me alone.
But
exactly.
What you said earlier about the different platforms reminded me of a video I saw where a group, they killed the boss. Then one of the guys looked at one of those red glowing platforms, shot his mountaintop there. They all spawned into the next zone, and then his mountaintop rocket hit him and he died.
Wow.
It went all the way to the next portal that he shot at. Like it traveled all the way and he hit himself, which I thought was amazing.
So the Destiny portal crossover has been confirmed.
That's crazy. That's not really
how you get to Destiny.
Is it really
2.
a thing? That's not a thing.
Destiny 2 too.
So do you think that the pinnacle drops for the Haunted Forest, at least, is not geared towards new light players? Because if somebody hasn't got a specific loadout or an exotic, does it make it harder for you to go through the forest as a new light player? Or is it achievable as a new light player that doesn't have everything, doesn't have the meta weapons, doesn't have the meta exotics and the higher powered gear? What do you think?
I would say honestly, because all of my friends are new light players, because none of them had it on Xbox. And I mean, don't get me wrong, we didn't make it till Thing 9, but that's because I'm not the great game. But they were holding their own, if not doing better than me, with blue weapons. And I think they had Suros the week that we played it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, It's definitely achievable for New Light players, but I'm not sure that it's really something that New Light players are going to focus on right away because it's just an event. And I mean, it's nice to get that extra power gear, but it's not.
Yeah, I think that's the shame, isn't it? It's only here for 3 weeks to get that pinnacle gear, and it is a harder grind. I feel anyway to get those pinnacle rewards than it is to do those other things that are in the game. That you can enjoy doing, and like the nightfalls, the dungeons, and the raid. Yes, you can fail over and over again, but it is achievable in that short kind of thing. Like the Iron Banner bounties. You're going to die every single match, but you'll slowly progress those bounties and you'll be able to turn those in and get the pinnacle rewards. The Nightfalls, you'll be able to do a guide or something to get that 100k. That they're not achievable these days. The dungeon, you just have to walk through and you get the masterworked item that is a pinnacle reward as well. So there are things in the game that are easier pinnacle rewards, which I don't understand why this pinnacle reward was a little bit more difficult to obtain. And I'm not saying make it a walk in the park for everybody. I'm saying make it difficult, but maybe take out a bit more of the RNG element of it so that average players can still go in and enjoy it and still struggle. But when they do get that pinnacle reward, it's worth it. It's not, I've spent the last 2 hours getting to wave 8 and an RNG element has messed it up every single time kind of thing. So, with that said, something that was interesting that Blue brought up, Eververse gifting. Why is this not a thing? Anybody got any thoughts on that?
So for those of us not in the know, what do you mean by Eververse gifting?
I think he's talking about you can't gift silver to other people, because I ran into that today when I was trying to give my son silver because he wanted the broom sparrow. You can't do it.
I believe that you can't gift an item, which I think you can do in Fortnite for several of the items. I was on there the other day just looking.
But it's also Fortnite.
Yeah, but
do we really...
I believe it's probably got to do with people trying to sell the items for ridiculous price.
Yeah.
No, but if you could purchase the item and gift it straight away, so
Yeah,
like if you bought the broom,
people can still sell it like off game. They can like what they're doing with people selling themselves to get the recluse for other people, and they're going to create like a black market kind of thing for these items.
Going back a million years, back to the dark ages of Diablo 2 and eBay, my brother made a good chunk of money back in the day grinding for and selling hard to get items on eBay for Diablo to go and transfer items between people. And there was a whole black market around that not so much black market, but you could go into eBay and say, hey, I've got this item or that item, pay your money. And of course there was a lot of scamming around that too, going, oh yeah, I'll absolutely give you this thing once you give me the cash. But you could actually give players, if there's a way to transfer stuff to other players in game, there will be people trying to make real money. Just like certain things you search for Destiny, you'll get the people, oh, I'll carry you to a mountaintop, or I'll do this quest for you, and a couple $100, and I'll give you this or that or the other. It's like, well, they really? Yeah, maybe they will. Maybe they'll take your money. Hard to say. Yeah, just let me do an account recovery for you, and I'll delete everything on it. Like that one high profile story that happened a year ago or something about some kid who got his account deleted from some guy going, oh, I'll do this for you.
I don't understand why not Eververse gifting, that you could purchase an item and gift you gift that item straight away to the person. What's the issue around that?
Think about it.
Maybe
our Steam players know you can buy a game on Steam and then you can buy it as a gift. So very clearly, you should be able to buy, whether you're buying people for things from Eververse or buying them silver, or doing like a transfer silver system where you can just be like, oh, I'll give you 500 silver. Kind of like, I think Warframe does that, where you could buy people or buy things from people in game.
With the platinum, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's ways they can do it. I don't know why they don't just implement it. If enough people request it, then they should put it in.
Another reason is maybe if people get hacked, and then they can just be gifted stuff from their account to other people, and then
that's a good point. That recently happened to me, but not in the game, like in real life, that just got compromised not too long ago. So that's a damn good point. You know, people getting hacked, and yes, what he just said.
I don't know. I don't see that. I don't know because there's. I don't know. I don't know what I was gonna say.
No, but would it be something that you'd be interested in the game to happen?
I
So,
would,
you know,
if they can do it in a way that has no ramifications, like people losing money
yeah,
when they don't want
that's
to.
fair enough.
Then yeah.
I don't think
I'd be
that
happy
it.
with it.
I'm not sure that they. I mean, it's very easy not to because, like I said, Warframe has been doing it pretty much forever. I believe. I don't know. I've never played it, but my buddy is really big into it. So, I mean, I don't think there's a reason we shouldn't, but I guess I can understand why they wouldn't.
It might just be in their too hard basket to put into the game with everything else.
Kind of like a trading system.
Yeah, I think they discussed a trading system for weapons and things previous, but not an Eververse kind of thing.
No, not that I know of.
I just thought it was interesting that you know, it was mentioned by Blue Screen, and I think, yeah, well, why isn't this in the game? This would be quite an interesting thing. You know, you could gift, like Respawn was saying, you know, he wanted to give his son the broom, and it seems to be quite hard unless you actually, you know, go onto their account and buy them silver, and they do it that way. It's a roundabout way of doing it. If you you want to gift something, they should be in the game for like those cosmetics. So yeah,
Or at least gifting silver.
yeah.
Like I don't think you can buy silver as a gift. You might be able to. I don't think I've never tried, but
you can't on
No,
Steam.
I don't.
You can't do it just cause.
I don't know. I think that should be a thing where you could be like, oh, I want to buy a gift of silver for, even if it's like, I don't know how they would do it, but making it like an engram that people, if you buy it for them, then it shows up in their Eververse and they have to actually go claim it or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of ways they can do it, and I think it'd be pretty cool to see just because that'll give nice people something to do.
True.
Not me, because I'm broke.
No, man, you're not.
You guys are on your own.
work in a freaking
Styrofoam
that's the one.
business.
That's the
out
one.
here.
Yes.
Making bank.
Yes.
So the other thing that the other thing I wanted to kind of discuss, and I'm quite glad that we've got a varied amount of people in the chat for the podcast today, is there doesn't seem to be any infusion or infusion drops in PvP. So it's forcing people to do the PvE hire content for the shards and the cores and the golf balls that you can get. And I don't think it's fair, to be honest. Those PvP players want to just play PvP. They're being forced into doing the nightfalls to get the drops and things like that, to then go back and be able to have their masterworked armor to play in PvP. I think at some point there should be, you know, obtain the cores from doing specific modes. Like in competitive, why isn't there a random chance to get a shard or a core or whatever it is to infuse for your armor? Yes, you get the higher power drop sometimes.
I don't know. I haven't made it to 5,500 yet. Maybe when you reset your 5,500 rank, you get that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Even not even that. Even if it's like every second or third, like major milestone or on reset, giving you something. Because right now there's no reason to reset your infamy or your glory. What's the other one? Valor.
Valor, yeah. Valor.
Yeah, like there's no real reason to reset it because you're not like you're up from, but they're not getting anything good out of it. There's no reason to keep doing it.
I mean, they keep asking what reasons can we get people to go into competitive and play? And yes, they keep giving us pinnacle rewards or ritual rewards these days as part of getting to the 5,500. You can get the Mida multi-tool, whatever it's called, the Masterwork. Can't use to drop as you get a chance at it at 5,500. But
yeah,
I think
you have to win a game at 5,500, if I'm not mistaken, to get that to drop for you.
Yeah. So I think if they made infusion fuel part of drops, if you were winning games, people would be more incentivized to go in there, wouldn't they, and play it?
Or
I mean, you can farm nightfalls over and over again and get these items. What is the difference with putting the stuff in there to farm as a PvP player? Not saying that I'm a PvP player and that's what I want. I think there should be a balance on both sides. So
yeah, equal
what
opportunity.
do you guys think?
No, I think you're
Even
right.
A weekly bounty that makes you go into comp to complete a couple of things here and there, and you get a few drops.
I mean, we don't have to be married to comp, do we? I mean, we can do like a weekly bounty in like just regular old Crucible, right? It doesn't have to necessarily be comp,
I'm saying comp because I think
comp that, right?
I think comp only because it makes it. They want people to go and play comp and make it more relevant to go and play rather than just getting the ritual weapons and then getting out. You want more reasons to go in there and play, and I think that would be the reason. You play in normal Crucible to practice your skills, have a bit of fun with your friends. You play Iron Banner because it's a slightly different mode. You play in comp because you can get stuff from it, and I think that's what it should be.
I mean, I don't know about you. I don't want more people in comp. Well, actually,
yes, you do. The more people in comp,
yeah.
I was gonna say that'll put all the PvE players.
The more people in comp, I mean, it's like when everybody the Thorn Quest or Lumina Quest or something. It's like the more people you have in there, and I also understand if you're on PC, people complaining waiting for long load times and games, just not as many people in there. So just having a larger community playing the game is going to make your experience better. Whether they're better than you, worse than you, whatever. Just having more people in the activity is going to make the activity better.
I definitely second that. I liked Andy's idea of some sort of bounty that.
So you're suggesting something like the difficulty of Ada 1's rare bounties that had like 2 weeks to complete?
Yeah.
That's certainly a thing, but why?
Something.
Well, I mean, to like he's saying, to get more people into comp to make it easier and things like that. I mean, that's what I got from it.
Or someone like me that, I mean, I don't really play a lot of PvE just because I don't get enough people, especially not to go onto the ordeal to do the highest Nightfall.
And then it's not matchmaking on top of that. So
yeah, and
that is something that needs to be addressed.
I mean,
is it needed to address?
Do you really want blueberries inside of an ordeal? I mean,
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think it's bad because like the lower tiers are both match made. It's much more helpful if everybody has what's it called? Communication, but
using the good words.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's the in-game voice chat now on PC at least. I don't know what you console peasants use. But...
This dude just said console peasants.
Yeah,
but he's not wrong.
I mean that's the thing. If you're doing a higher level activity, I mean, I think it would be a disaster. But I mean, matchmaking for a 3-person activity, it's just like doing the guided games thing. There's 2 of you. You do a guided games. You send the 3rd-person invite. Now you've got your communication, or you don't. Presumably, if you're already 980 content, you're going to want to talk to each other. And even if you don't, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, at least making a match made would give a lot more people the ability to get through it, or at least or at least trying it out.
But even the ordeals, like I can finish. I mean, I've only done the 920s because I have no friends. But you know what? I don't care.
What?
So, are we done on the discussion points this week, guys?
Yes.
Have we discussed enough? Okay.
I don't even know.
You know what time it is now for? You know what time it is now?
A respawn rants. Yeah.
No, you've had that one. You've had
time
that.
No. Time in the show before our wives yell at us.
It's Respawn's additional news and information chat.
Respawn's news and information.
What? For the last couple of weeks, you've been doing it, so you might as well have that as well.
All right. Respawn's news and information. It's not on this page. It's not on that page. It's not on this page. Nope, not on that page. And I've gone too many pages. Okay.
You're going to need to look at page 4 of 11.
4 of 11. There we go. Haha. There we
Give
go.
or take.
Yep. On okay.
He knew that.
On Eververse, and he claims that rewards were cut from activities to be put in Eververse. I want to say clearly, we did not take those rewards from activities and move them to Eververse. To give a bit of context, there were goals to make the entire season of Shadowkeep launch feel unified by having items in the Eververse be Vex/Scarlet Keep themed. We have been looking at the feedback and understand how this has led to the perception that the rewards were taken from activities rather than created specifically for purchase. And I know that sounds like a run-on sentence, but I'm just really bad at pausing at periods. There will always be a drive in development to have Eververse items feel tied to the Destiny universe, but we can be much better at ensuring that they don't feel too thematically tied to activities/gameplay rewards. Reddit thread. On Nightfall rewards and exclusive loot, in year 1, we had a bit of feedback that Nightfalls didn't feel rewarding enough. Thus, uniques, emblems, and scoring were brought into the fold. Feedback was given that weapons were great, but the cosmetic rewards, ghosts, sparrows, ships, etc. weren't as desirable. Forsaken, however, has added a few weapons with random rolls that helped address this issue. Moving on to Shadowkeep. Nightfalls became a repeatable grind to earn masterwork materials, that's plural, and exotics with random roll. Do you feel that this isn't as rewarding as a single weapon? Thanks a ton. Reddit link. Why not both? I love that. See, why limit yourself to a world of ore? Just take all of the things. I love that. Time, resources, etc. Create a weapon for a Nightfall, which is becoming a masterwork exotic grind, or create a unique weapon for the raid. There isn't always a one-to-one comparison, but it's something to help frame the scenario. We don't have the ability to create unique weapons for every single activity in the game each release. So there has to be prioritization while factoring in every reward available per activity. Reddit thread. On map voting. Hey all. I'll get this into the list of Crucible feedback. This has been requested by players frequently. I do not know when this could be prioritized, as it could require some intensive work on the back end to implement. You're programmers. This is your game. I don't care what it takes to do it. Just do it. When you say how bad maps are, what's the feedback here? Do you dislike specific maps, or are you getting similar maps too many times in a row?
That one. It's that one. Similar maps too many times in a row.
And I'm getting too many in a row.
Oh.
Again, don't limit yourself to a world of ore.
It's definitely the same amount. I played like 6 consecutive Crucible games and just stayed in the rotation, and it put me in the same map 6 times in a row. I'm going, no, I'm done here. I'm really done here. Oh, anyway, sorry.
No.
Having a flashback moment there.
Flashback moment. I got you. Where are we at? Okay, the team has started pulling maps out of rotation on a seasonal basis to address some bugs, issues, and feedback. Please let me know what your feelings are on the current map so we can give the team a sense of priority on what needs to be looked at next. Forums link.
Oh, crikey.
Cosmo. Hey, Cosmo. Hey, guys, Cosmo's got something to say. Are you ready for this? This guy's a legend. A freaking legend. All right, here we go. Cosmo. Feedback about various factors of the artifact, see source, which is not here, have been passed along. Reddit thread. They are tracking.
If only there was a link you could hit to somehow find the information.
If only, right?
So we're talking about there is zero functional difference between having all the artifact mods available in the current system, except one is pointless busy work that deliberately limits players' experimentation. So they're not happy about that. Anyway, carry on.
They are tracking a performance issue related to the opening nostalgic engrams. Sorry, let's try that again while actually reading the sentence that I'm reading. They are tracking a performance issue related to opening nostalgic engrams. That's what they're supposed to say.
Which has to do with the FPS drops, which I've noticed. The game slows down a lot when you're trying to open engrams. All of a sudden, it's like I don't know why. I don't know why that's so taxing on the Xbox, but apparently it's very difficult to open those. Carry on.
Stand by.
I will not. I will carry on. About the feedback about buffing both the Desperado perk of the Redrix and the Breakneck as a whole have been passed on to the dev team because they're sad now. So we also have multi-kill issues in survival that Respawn will continue reading for us.
All right, cool. When a multi-kill happens, there is no simple way to understand who died first. So we don't know who deserves to come back. Instead of being frustrated at teammates who get magically chosen to be brought back in, we've decided it was better to revive everyone. It's an infrequent edge case, and we felt it was a better team experience not to have to be angry at your teammates because they got in and you didn't.
You could be angry at them for other reasons.
So hold on. So are they talking about like in survival when your whole team dies and like you only have 2 lives left, but 3 people died, they're deciding who comes back?
They were trying to address the problem where when you have 1 shared life left and everyone dies at once through a multi-kill, who gets brought back and who doesn't. So yeah, basically if you've got 1 life left and one dies, who comes back? In this case, it's everybody because they don't want to figure out or try to play games of who it was.
That's so scummy.
So if you're down to 1 life, run as a pack and hope you all get killed at once, because then you'll come back. You still may lose.
Think
but
of
you'll
this
have another
scenario,
shot to lose.
right? Let's say your blueberries died, right? You got heavy, you got a rocket launcher, and they're all gunning for you, right? You tuck into a little corner, they all come around a corner, boom, rocket launcher kills all of them. You have to fight all 3 of them again. That's such a scumbag move.
Pro MLG strats. You heard it here first.
Bungie, you're lazy. Like, you need to figure out. Look, you can. Computers are timed in the picoseconds. Okay,
no, they aren't.
You can
Not the
easily decide
Xbox
who the hell dies first, right? Bringing everybody back to life at once who died at the same time when there's 1 life left is a scumbag move. You ought to be a damn shame to yourself. That's no. Feel free to give any feedback on this, but that's the current thinking. Thanks, Reddit link. Here's my feedback. You're scumbags. Stop being lazy. Fix your damn game. Perfect Gambit Triumph fixed next season. We'll work how the description reads and no longer fail if someone dies. Reddit link. On Postmaster is full warnings anywhere. Just anywhere.
Please.
Thank God. Yeah, somewhere. Email it to me. I don't care. Just give me the damn.
Text me. I don't care. I'll give you my number.
Right. Whatever. Okay. I have brought this up to the team and we'll let them know that this is something the community would like to see. This is what I was talking about during the rant. You want to nerf the recluse when crap like this has been happening. We've been asking for forever. Right? Fix this. Don't nerf crap that we're still playing with. Fix something that we all need to have in the game. Quality of life over nerfing weapons. Stop being damn lazy, Bungie. Moving on. Okay. The reason we didn't want to show this while in activities is we thought it would get pretty annoying, as you probably still want to finish what you're doing first. Let us know what you think about changing it to show in activity or in orbit. Thanks. I don't care. Any. Both. Something. Somewhere. DMG adds, there were some problem spaces the team was looming at in terms of the warning spamming you get in orbit, in-game, etc. What? DMG adds, there were some problem spaces the team was looming at in
looking
terms
at. I know it says looming, but use your words. Looking at in terms of the warning spam.
Looming is a thing, right? I mean, they could have been thinking over it heavily, and I was just like confused what the hell they're talking about. Sorry. Warning spamming you in orbit. What warning are they talking about?
Well, they're just saying, they don't want to spam you with 1,000 warnings while you're in orbit. About this is happening, that's happening, this happening.
Gotcha.
Just worrying about sending too much information your way and overloading the player. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, even something as simple as because after every activity, you go into your inventory to delete blues or to see what you got, things like that, right? When you open up your character inventory, that should be when they tell you, hey, by the way, your post box is full. Hello. Might want to do something about that. Whatever. Feedback about buffing linear fusion rifles for PvE has been passed along. Couldn't hurt. Master of Arms clarification. Do we need to go over that?
Nope. We can give Cosmo our feedback, though, about the recluse here, and I'll link that in the show notes.
Yes, you can. DMG.
Send this podcast straight to him.
Oh, I will.
He will be
Poor
delighted.
Anarchy RNG. Yes.
Oh. Yeah. Was this the one that I saw? I think Kingsley, or I think it was Kingsley Mac retweeted. So I've done 102 runs and still haven't gotten it to drop yet.
I've
this
done
is
a bunch.
problem.
I think my emblem shows I've done like 30 something of them. I don't know
believe
the
Sin
exact
said on
number.
the podcast that he got it within his second drop, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
Because sin is magic.
But this is the thing, right? And that one time where I got an exotic grenade launcher and I thought I had it, but it ended up being the prospector. Yeah, that was
we
a
heard about
scumbag
that.
move. Yeah,
This is the fourth time you said that on the podcast.
because it still looms in my brain. It was a very traumatic event for me. All right, you don't understand. Shut up. Thanks for the post. We've seen a few stories similar to this. While I cannot make the promise of RNG protection being added to previous raids, you scumbags, I can only say that we're bringing this feedback to the development team. Additionally, Anarchy is planned to receive an increase in drop chances in a future update. Want to set proper expectations. It should match the change we made to the 1,000 voices, which is currently at a 10% chance. Stay tuned for the official patch notes in case something changes between now and then. On how Gambit combatants are. Depending on the round, the enemy composition may be different. More majors, less red bars. Sometimes you'll encounter different enemies to fight against that may require a different approach. Examples. Rushing into a sea of Cabal Legionnaires could turn out well, but running into a wall of Cabal turrets may result in a need for res. There are no handicap systems or hidden modifiers to make enemies hit you harder. Are you seeing differences where enemies are requiring more damage to take down? A red bar drag in one round taking more shots than another red bar drag? Throw us videos if that is the case. Reddit link. Here's a question that I never bothered to ask, but I've thought about it a few times. Do you think we get the exact same enemies in both Gambit matches? So if I have a line of turrets in my match, do you think they have a line of turrets in their side too?
No, because like sometimes you'll get the high value target.
Right, but the high value target's a catch up mechanic. I'm not talking about special things like that.
Yeah,
just in general.
No, I don't think so.
Because it wouldn't make sense. Because you ever go up and you got a whole bunch of yellow bars on your side, and the other team is just filling their box full of mochi, and you're like, how the hell,
Because they're better than you are in this case,
or
you're better than them. But yeah,
I'm thinking you're right. I don't think it's the same on both sides, but I don't know for sure. But whatever. That's a good question.
I think initially, when the game first starts, you get the same amount of enemies in the same kind of rough areas of where they spawn in on. When you get to the next level, so I'm talking normal Gambit here, depending on who's won the first match, I think it then adjusts to maybe give the other team slightly more enemies to kill so that they can get their moats quicker. And I think with Prime, I think it does vary. It depends on how quickly you destroy the first wave and things like that. Depends on how quickly you can then get the next lot. And yeah, with the bigger bosses that spawn in and the catch-up ones, I think the game kind of adjusts as to where the game's progressing and how well other teams are doing against each other.
Yeah, so hard to say. We'll never know because we're never going to be on both sides at once.
Well, that's the thing. I don't play Gambit much anymore, or I didn't really much prior. Ever since they made me complete 40 matches, I really kind of stopped playing just to get the breakneck. But yeah, I'm not that into Gambit. Some other people, it just takes too much time out of my day when I'm doing stuff that I need to do. If it feels more rewarding, I'd probably be. It's just not.
Yeah, it's a good thing to run into if you're trying to get certain things. But yeah, it's still something I really enjoy. But yeah, there's no real reason to play it outside of that. I'm just sort of slowly working on the various armor sets and whatever. So yeah, tips, tricks, builds, and we somehow inexplicably have more content for the show this week. that we will tell you about all the good things. And yeah, it was Kingsley Mac. Someone who had done 102 clears of Scourge and still has not gotten the Anarchy to drop.
Yeah,
it's like that's just got to be soul crushing. At that point, at that point you're basically Night Demon ship from the Shattered Throne or Panoramics 18 trying to get the Oh God, I've now forgotten what the shader is now. Dang it!
Sun Warrior.
Sunrise Warrior. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that are just never meant to
That is a
happen. It's like,
great
no, this is not for you. Your
made
RNG just will never happen.
Yeah. And y'all think, I mean, with those kind of numbers, y'all think I'm joking. In every Destiny game, all the way back from Destiny 1,
No one thinks you're joking. We know things are hard to obtain.
Yeah.
It took me all of Destiny 1 to get my Gallo.
well, I never got it. I had to buy mine from Missouri a week before.
RNG is terrible.
Yeah, no, just never got a raid exotic in my life. I mean, the ones that you can go in and get, like you know, dropped ones that dropped from a chest, I've never gotten in a raid, in any raid ever.
So did they have those? Oh, they did have those drops. I never got Vex Mythoclast.
Same, Vex Mythoclast, and what was the one you got that every time you took a shot on your last round, it took your health away?
Oh, I got that.
Touch of Malice.
Touch of Malice. That was a quest, though. That was a quest.
Yeah, that was a quest.
That was. I'd love for them to bring that back, but they'd nerf it day 2.
Hopefully, not as hard as it was to get in D1.
That was a good gun, though.
I mean, I played D1 for like 3 or 4 years in a row and never finished that quest.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So, tips, tricks, guides, builds, all the good stuff.
YouTube links,
Yeah.
recipes, favorite beverages.
Well, I've got a couple of things that I just wanted to point out. I didn't realize that you could farm the dungeon weapons, so it's not limited to once a week. So you can keep going into the dungeon and completing the different levels and get a chance at the weapons to drop throughout. So it's a bit like the Altar of Sorrow that's happening outside with the weapons that you can farm over and over again. You can actually go into the dungeons and keep playing the encounters over and over again and get a chance at the weapons to drop. So I thought that was quite interesting.
I've yet to play that.
It's good fun. I think we did it in about half an hour this week. We did it. Took us a while the first week, and now we know the mechanics and what to do. Half an hour, and that's just on the normal one because they haven't updated it to make it harder yet. But you get the curated masterworked item at the end, don't you?
Armor.
Yes, the armor. So the curated armor, or not curated, masterworked armor that you get. It's not a high stat roll. Again, this was pointed out on the DCP podcast.
So it's not a high stat roll?
It's not a high stat roll because it's the moon armor, and apparently that can't roll with higher stats. It only looks like it's higher stats because where it's masterworked, you get the extra 12 points. So
you're right.
when you look at it, you're like, you've got a 62 or a 64. You think, oh, this is really good. But it's not as high as some of the other rolls could be. So I did a bit of experimenting, and as soon as I got an item that was exactly the same in light, I dismantled my masterwork piece of item, and I can tell you that you get 6 shards and 6 cores from it. So there you go. You don't get one of the golf balls, but you get 6 of the shards and 6 enhancement cores. So if you do want to farm that each week and dismantle the masterworked armor, that's a way of getting that. Right, so moving on to the guides and things. And I did post this in our band chat this week. I didn't know if anybody's tried it. There is an epic artifact glitch by Jarv. I don't know who found it, but I think Jarv references who found it. I think it was on a Reddit thing. That you can actually unlock 3 more nodes on your artifact. So you can have 15 rather than 12. And there's a little bit of fiddling around where you have to select some, take them off, turn off the game. But Jarv goes through it with you on how to get it done.
What the hell just happened?
I just
keep going. We're just one person down. It's fine.
We have an army. It's fine.
Yeah. So
yeah, we got plenty of content this week, boys.
So
and ladies.
So yeah, where was I? Oh, epic artifact glitch. So yeah, you can unlock 3 more nodes for your artifact if you're interested. That's permanent for the rest of the season if you wanted to play around with that. But as I said, you have to clear your artifact completely, turn off the game, and then start selecting more mods. And then I think you have to then wait for reset or a couple of hours into it but Jarv does talk you through how to do it.
Do you know why they won't just give us a point for every time we level it up? I mean,
is this a question that I need to
would
know?
Would it be game breaking? No, I mean, you ever think about it? Like, why is it that we're limited to 12 nodes? Why can't I have 15 nodes? Why can't I have?
You can have 15 nodes. That's what I'm saying. You can now.
Why can't I have 20 nodes without glitching the game, without breaking it somehow?
Because they're trying to have a way to balance it out. There's certain, like they said before, there's certain combinations they're trying to limit.
You can't have all
every combination in the entire world because we would see more game-breaking glitches and things that are just completely unbalanced.
So, moving on to what can break a Titan bubble. Fallout Plays has done a brilliant guide.
I love that video, dude. The one thing that really devastates it is something I never would have thought of. Oh my god, dude! Yeah.
Don't spoil it for people because they want to go and watch it. So, yes, there's that one. Then there's 8 things everyone should know for the season ends by MTash. He goes over quite a few things that you need to know if you're kind of completing badges and quests that you might want to get done. The Pluperfect God Roll Guide from Deicide. So he goes over why this is a good gun and why you should be looking at certain rolls for PvP and PvE, and he goes over damage numbers and things like that, so that's quite good for watching. Cheese Forever has a more heavy ammo glitch for exotics, worth a watch if you need more heavy ammo. Then we have Cleaning Machine Hunter build from Plunder the Booty. He has a hunter build where basically it's a good PvE clean up for ads and building up supers, so that's one for you, Respawn. Lord of Shotguns, Aztecross has a review on the Lord of Wolves shotgun and still showing as a really good weapon in PvP and why you should be using it. He goes over in his video. Rustophilus has a Hunter PvE build. Again, I think this is the Wormhusk Crown, and he puts a really good build together of damage and evading in PvP. Cheese Forever has a Pyramidium Nightfall the Ordeal tips and tricks guide, so that might be helpful if it does come up again. Cool Guy has Every Waking Moment submachine gun and why there are roles for PvP and PvE. A good one to get for PvE is the Disruption Break with putting one of the barrier mods on there, and that helps in the Nightfalls. Then Sir Demetrius has a Best Warlock PvP build. That's a really good fun video to watch. If you want something that's a good laugh to watch, go and watch that. That's, as I said, funny. Then we have a Titan PvE build, which is a monster build, according to its creator, with Heart of Innermost Light. And that is by Plunder the Booty again. And we have a Best Solo PvE build, or loadout for Warlocks with Demolitionists as well. So that's one, again, by Plunder the Booty. Top 5 Titan exotics after the nerf. So Destiny Fun Please, as you know, is a Titan main. And he goes over 5 exotics that you want to kind of look at if you are a bit upset about the one-eyed mask. So have a look at that. Fallout Plays has his raid challenge for week 2. I know it's going to be rotating out, but it's one to kind of keep in your library just to make sure that when it does come up again, or if you are doing it this week, there you go, it's there. Houndish has a monster SMG builds video, which goes over quite a lot of the SMGs that are still good. So if you're upset about the Recluse, there are other SMGs that you can put a build together with. And then to finish us off, True Vanguard has a lovely video of the top 5 reasons why you are dying in Crucible. Again, another worth your watch if you are looking for some tips and tricks in PvP.
Shoot people, don't get shot.
Yep.
Bullets,
It's good advice.
grenades, supers,
Actually, what I see-
melees, architects. There are your 5.
A new strat that I've been seeing is not playing Crucible.
That's
how you get good.
That definitely works.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you got me
Like,
sold, buddy.
comment, and
Profound or
subscribe
something
to
like that.
Danny's Hot Crucible Tips show.
Hello, I am Dandy, and I play Crucible.
Right.
The only winning move is not to
Just
play. And with that, thank you for joining us. Your Titans this week have been Parody and Night Demon for Hunters, Quants in Real Life, Nihilist Demand, Fusco, and Dandy. You can email the show at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. You can hit the show up on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. You can find the show on Facebook and Instagram. You can join the Frozen Clan. We have 2 spots left. Fight for the death for them. You can watch the show on YouTube, listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, and everywhere fine podcasts are sold. Remember, Titans, your half wall still blinds the enemy that runs through them. So load them up with Telesto shots and watch the fun. And with that, we are done. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Look, I actually did it this time.
Time travel, obviously.
Time travel.
Australians have the gift of time travel. That's how it works.
Yeah,
Is
we
it
don't
though?
exist.
He's coming to us from the future right
You
now.
don't exist yet.
Therefore, time travel.
Yeah. Yeah, it is absolutely a different day where he is. It is Sunday
Yeah,
morning, and
that is true.
We haven't even made it to Saturday evening yet. He's already
That
at
is
Sunday
true.
morning, living in the future.
Just to let you know, Sunday.